Alice. As well as that, we've also got some talk show segment. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's the Grayson Waller Effect. He has got special guest Apollo Crews. So we've got that as well. And I think also Tyler Bate is taking on Von Wagner. So we've also got that coming up. So there's a few things that are coming up for us to look forward to. Obviously, a bit of news as well for us to talk about. We did already talk about the Edge news, which was doing the rounds, obviously, last night. That was very interesting. There's also some news coming in that came through a few hours ago about the WWE draft. I've actually got the article in front of me, so we might as well just read this, and then we can talk about it and talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. But WWE draft has likely changed internally. So not so fast on the WWE draft. We've reported that many on the roster were expecting the draft to take place after Clash at the Castle. However, there doesn't seem to be anywhere near a slam dunk anymore. It's more like a half-court lob with your eyes closed. What? We're told by WWE that several Raw talents were unbooked from the SmackDown episode that follows Clash at the Castle. Many stars have been told that the draft was likely going to take place that week, but if it is, a significant number of crossover talents were not going to be involved. USA Network sources have told talent that the draft isn't happening in the immediate future. They have outright stated that after WrestleMania is a likely landing spot. After WrestleMania, WWE had not officially announced the draft and hasn't given us confirmation about any of the dates, and talent hasn't been given a heads up about anything happening in the coming weeks. We'll keep digging for information as to when it could take place, if at all. We're told internally USA Network does not have a date listed for an upcoming draft, so no information in regards to an upcoming draft. And actually, USA sources are saying that after WrestleMania is a more likely landing spot. I mean, to be honest, that just feels crazy to me that we're going to try and get through to like that long with the rosters that we've got. I mean, who is there for Roman to face? I mean, like, I don't know who Roman Reigns is going to be facing. Let me have a look at the SmackDown roster. SmackDown roster. Because I've got to think that his next challenge is coming from SmackDown. Because I think he will drop a belt, and I think the belt he will drop will be the WWE title. So that just keeps him with the Universal on SmackDown. So it's not going to be Angel Garza. It's not going to be Ashanti the Adonis. Big E is out injured. It's not going to be Butch. It's not going to be Drew Gulak. Drew McIntyre, I think, will get the belt and go to Raw. It's not going to be Gunther. I expect Gunther to keep a hold of the title for a long time. Happy Corbin's a heel. Won't be Humberto Carrillo or Ivar. Won't be any of the Usos. Jinder? I don't think it'll be Jinder, but Jinder might have to be a name that we look at. It might be Karrion. You could always keep Karrion on SmackDown and have Karrion feud with Roman, but, I mean, okay, might be Karrion. Kofi, you could always use Kofi, but he's out injured at the moment. And I don't know if that's exciting or not. Ludwig Kaiser, no. Marseille, no. Madcap Moss, surely not. Max Dupree, Michael Cole, Mansoor, Rick Boogs, still out injured, nowhere near the main event scene. Ricochet, Rich Holland, Sammy, could be Sammy. We could move on Sammy. Sheamus, Shinsuke, Top Dollar, Xavier, that's it. So I would say Karrion. I would say we could use Kofi, but I don't think we will. I mean, he's already beaten Kofi. And I don't think we'll go that way. So Karrion, Ricochet, really? Are we going to move him to the main event scene? We're gonna put Ricochet up against Roman. I'm not sure. Sammy, I think, is a good shout, though. So I'm going to say Karrion, Sammy. You could go Sheamus, but he's a heel. You'd have to turn him face. But you could do Roman Sheamus. I reckon that's a credible threat. Shinsuke, we've never really got that feud, and it's been teased, so you could get that. So, in all fairness, I reckon you could find 4 people on that SmackDown roster for him to work with. You've just got to tweak Sheamus. Shinsuke, I think, is ready to go. You Karrion. The only problem with Karrion is that I feel like Karrion would have to win that feud. I mean, he's only just arrived and he looks amazing and he's kind of in the background and everything. I feel that Karrion would have to win. And I don't think that he's, whatever the next feud after Drew at Clash is going to be, I don't think it's going to be a feud that Roman's going to lose. I don't think if he loses the title to Drew, I don't think he then feuds with Karrion and then loses the Universal. So if we do Karrion's going to have to be further down the road. The only thing I would say is that obviously we're hoping next year is going to be The Rock. So the build for that might start relatively soon. We could get The Rock. The Rock could make his presence felt like Survivor Series. And then from Survivor Series till WrestleMania, you just have Roman just bobbing around doing like stupid title. They could defend the title against Sheamus. There's no way Sheamus is winning, but our bigger focus is obviously The Rock, who's further down the road. So, yeah, there's a way of getting through. But I don't know. I was more excited about having a draft, mixing it up and getting some, AJ against Roman or Seth Roman or, doing like some interesting matches. But I suppose just looking at it, there is still a way forwards. But interesting news. Edward said they're adding new sign-ins, so we don't need a draft just yet. Awesome. Anything but Madcap, says Frank. Anything but Madcap. Anthony, shout out to you. Rock Roman doesn't need to be for any of the belts. It doesn't, but if you want Roman to get to 1,000 days, which I do, then the belt's going to have to be involved. Because in order for him to get to 1,000 days, that's going to be May, and it's after Mania. So the belt's got to be involved for him to reach that landmark. So I'm still clinging on to the hope that he gets to that. Otherwise, what are we working towards? What is it we're trying to do? That's a really interesting question, actually. What is it that we're trying to do with this Roman Reigns title reign? Like, what are we trying to achieve? Because for me, I'm trying to get to 1,000 days. That's what I'm hoping for. Once we get to 1,000 days, I don't care if he loses it. I just think that if we can get to 1,000 days, that's in this day and age, that is incredible. So as long as we can get to that point, but I don't know that we're going to get there. And as you said, you don't need the belt involved in Rock Roman, but it does just need to be involved if we want to reach that landmark. To me, it just feels like they're biding time until Cody is back, says Kevin. I would love to see Sheamus with the title, says WWE Content. I think a lot of people have really grown quite affectionate towards Sheamus. What he gives you is he gives you 110% every time. I mean, I really think that when Sheamus goes in the Hall of Fame, because he will, I can totally understand him standing there and speaking from the heart and saying, like, I honestly can say I gave it everything every time I stepped in that ring, because I think he genuinely does embody that. Whether he was in the bar with Cesaro, whether he's been feuding with Drew, whether he's been, like, doing his king gimmick, whether he's been doing, like, this Brawling Brutes thing, he always brings it. And I just think he's had some really bad creative. He's been the victim of some really awful creative. If he was booked more credibly and booked as a bit of a... Well, he is booked as a brawler, but I just think, like, if he was... He's been on the receiving end of quite a few defeats, hasn't he? And his momentum has never been maintained. So he's been very 50-50 stop-start. And as a result, I just don't quite see him at that level. I don't see him being like a credible threat to Roman. What I do see him being is a very tough, not a threat, but I see him being a tough match. I see Roman having to really dig deep against someone like Sheamus, because Sheamus is going to bring everything. and he's going to be really hard to put away, but I think Roman puts him away quite easily. Well, I say easily, maybe not easily, but I think he puts him away. So, yeah, I struggle to see Sheamus being the one, like, to beat Roman. But what I would say is that for a B show, for, like, Extreme Rules, Sheamus would be perfectly fine. Roman against Sheamus, an Extreme Rules match. You could get through a pay-per-view quite easily with that. That's fine. That's fine. I met Sheamus at a hotel bar. It was right after Dusty had passed, and could tell he didn't want anyone bothering him, so we let him be, says Mark. Bearded Bronco said there's zero chance they'll split the titles at Clash. If Roman has the title at Mania, he's beating The Rock. Where is the suspense in that match? To be honest, I think he beats The Rock anyway. I think title, no title. I don't think there's any suspense in that match regardless. I mean, I just do not see The Rock coming back and beating Roman, whether he's got the belt or hasn't got the belt. So, I don't know. For me personally, it doesn't really change anything. Other than we definitely can't get to 1,000 days if that title is not involved. So I just don't, whether the belt's in or not, The Rock ain't coming back and beating Roman Reigns. The Rock's a part-timer. Roman is around. He's been built up and, he's this massive, biggest face. He's the face of the company right now. And, you could have said the same, I suppose, for like Rock John Cena. And of course, The Rock does win, but that's a massive surprise. And the way they get round it is they end up doing it the next year, don't they? So the once-in-a-lifetime match became twice in a lifetime, and they end up both getting a victory at WrestleMania. So unless they're going to do that, unless, you have Rock win this year and then you do it again at WrestleMania 41. But with his filming schedule, I just don't see it. I think this is going to be a one-off, and I think Roman wins whether the belt's involved or not. Extreme Rules is not a stadium show, so Roman won't be there, says Bearded Bronco. I don't know that that's true, to be honest. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe you won't do that show, but I don't think there's any more stadium shows because I don't think Survivor Series is a stadium show, but I would expect him at Survivor Series. So I don't know. I think Extreme Rules and Survivor Series are the shows for October, November. I don't know that there's one in December because I think day one technically counts as the December show. And actually, I haven't seen anything about a Saudi show for the end of this year. The Saudi show tends to be obviously in a stadium, but I haven't seen anything about that. So, I don't know. I don't know if that would prevent Roman from being there. It might do. Maybe he doesn't do Extreme Rules, but he does Survivor Series instead or something. Jordan says, Sheamus versus Brock would be cool. That would be cool. Rock Hogan is still my favourite WrestleMania match, says Kevin. Roman won't be Extreme Rules, says Delwyn. Tanya said, will Johnny take the Money in the Bank for a cash-in? I hope not. I hope not. He's literally just arrived. He's only just dropped onto the main roster. So for him to get Money in the Bank now and then cash in and become champion, way too soon. Way too soon. For me, you've really got to get Johnny, that connection with the fans. Johnny needs to be putting on some incredible matches like Johnny can. He needs to be putting on some of those 5-star matches that we saw in NXT. Really build him up. I don't know if he goes after a mid-card belt. Maybe he takes Theory's... he can't. I was going to say maybe he takes Theory's United States, but obviously it's Bobby Lashley that's got that right now. I don't know. Hard to get a mid-card belt right now. How are you going to get it off Bobby? And how I wouldn't get it off Gunther. Gunther, I think, should have that belt for a while. So, don't know. All these people coming in, we're going to start getting clogged, to be honest. AEW have got this problem with so many stars that, people aren't getting used. They're not getting on TV. They're being used on Dark and Elevation. No one's really talking about the fact that WWE might start getting that problem with the amount of talent that they're kind of bringing in. Because they're bringing in some, Loomis, Carrion, Johnny Gargano. If Bray comes back as well, on top of the talent that's already there, it's pretty stacked, isn't it? The roster's getting, really juicy. Which, no complaints. I mean, it's brilliant for us. But, don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't start getting a few, a bit of unhappiness backstage. People not satisfied they're not being used on the card more. We're certainly seeing that with AEW now. Hayden, shout out to you. Hope you are well. I'm good, bud. I'm good. We're obviously working our way to NXT tonight. Just a normal NXT tonight. Obviously, last week was Heatwave. Ratings for last week were through the roof. Did a fantastic number. I think it's in the 700,000 mark. So really, really strong. One of the biggest ratings in a long time. So seems like the card definitely got people tuning in last week. Brilliant. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And so we're here this week to kind of follow up on all of that. Obviously, Tyler Bate arrived at the end and came face-to-face with Bron Breakker. We also got B. Priestley, who goes by the name, I think, Blair Davenport. She arrived. Gallus made their presence felt as well. And we know that NXT UK is no longer, and we know that a load of people got released. We are still waiting for the likes of Miko, Satomura, and a few others that have not been released to come over. I don't know if they're coming over to NXT or if they're just going to be like furloughed and they're just going to wait for NXT Europe to start. I'm really not sure. I'm not sure like how they're going to do it. So apparently there are going to be some NXT UK talents that come in still to NXT. There's more to come. So we've got plenty happening in NXT at the moment. It does feel like there's a bit of a change that's going on. That I think Triple H has focused on the main roster, and I think that any changes to NXT we're now starting to see. Like Heatwave, I thought was a decent show. Now we've got some new faces. There's reports that other NXT UK talent are going to be coming over. We know that NXT UK is shutting down. NXT Europe starts next year. You can just tell there's definitely change, focus, plans, things happening with this developmental. So where we end up, where we are in, say, 6 months, I really don't know. I don't think they'll rebrand NXT. I don't think they'll rebrand it. Just because I would imagine there's probably a cost involved in like changing the logo again, changing all the graphics again, doing all of that. And I don't know, the ratings are pretty much where they were when it was the black and gold brand. You could change it back to black and gold, but I don't know. I think it's all right. I think like just keeping it as it is with the colors and the arena and all of that, it's all right. I just think the booking needs to be a bit stronger. I think part of that, though, might be because they were trying to create it in Vince's vision, and obviously Vince has gone now, so we'll see. We'll see what they come up with tonight. See if tonight builds on the success of last week. Edward said, what would you change about yourself if you could? I would get a better work-life balance. I've always been someone that's very work-orientated. So even when I worked in retail, I was very work. Like, I would get in early, I would leave late, I would work through my lunch. I'm someone that sets myself target, and then I just work till that target's achieved. And, I mean, that's good. It's a good thing. It got me, climbing up the ladder in the retail world, which is good. And, that was, it's good. It's good thing to have, but it's a bad thing for a work-life balance because a work-life balance doesn't exist. There's no balance. It's work. So I would definitely change that. James said, have you seen the design of the women's IGW? I have not. I didn't even know they were bringing a women's belt in, buds. Let's have a look. Women's. New Japan revealed details about IWGP Women's Championship Tournament. New Japan has released details on an upcoming IWGP Women's Championship Tournament. It was announced during Tuesday's press conference. It will begin with the first quarterfinal matches at Royal Quest 2, Night 2 in London on October. I didn't even know there was a Royal Quest 2. So they're coming to Crystal Palace Indoor Arena. Royal Quest 2. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Is Okada going to be there and everything? I wouldn't mind going to that, A women's championship is coming to New Japan. Is it that? New Japan.
I never needed you at all.
No, that's New Japan Strong. I am looking for the women's title. I can't see them. Did you send it over to me, or is it over on Twitter or something? If I can see it, I'll show it on screen. Knowing them, it's going to be... Oh, thank you. I mean, I don't hate it. It's just the plates, isn't it? Yeah, I don't hate it. It's a bit of a weird one because it's not the final belt. It's just the plates. But obviously it gives you a great idea. So there we go. I've got a fly as well. This fly. Do you know what? There's about 2 flies in this room that are absolutely doing my head. Absolutely doing my head. Got it. If you could choose to do anything for a day, what would it be? Sleep. Sleep, that's what I would do. These are the IWGP plates. So this is for a new women's championship, which I didn't even know was coming, to be honest. They've never had women. Well, I can't say ever, but I don't think they've ever had women in New Japan. So obviously they purchased Stardom. The company that owned New Japan owns Stardom. So we've been seeing a lot of crossover. And we've been seeing them like appearing on like New Japan shows, doing like Stardom matches. But yeah, it looks like they're having their own championship now, which is pretty exciting. It's good. That'll be good. Mix it up. Welcome to the modern world. Retribution. Never needed you at all. Hope you're well. What's your opinion on Britt Baker and her not being used well? Well, I think she was used well. And then Thunder Rosa has come along and Thunder Rosa has got the title. I think now Britt is used maybe a bit sparingly, but whenever I see her, she's kind of very much working with Jamie Hayter. And for me, she's done a great job of getting Jamie Hayter over. So she's done a really good job of getting like Jamie introduced and used to being on the main roster, working matches in front of a crowd of that size. I think Jamie Hayter is honestly brilliant. I love her. I'm so impressed with what I'm seeing. She's so clean in the ring, so smooth. I mean, you just don't see botches from her. She's very credible. I think her selling is great. She comes across to me like a real big star. Like I love her robe and everything as well when she like comes down, and I just think she really has got it. I think she's got it. So we just need to keep working with her, and like when she finally turns on Britt or Britt turns on her or something happens where we can like go to a different kind of level with her, I think we're going to get somewhere very special. I really rate her. I think she's going to be a good talent for that. I don't know how big we're going to get with her, but I think she's got all the tools to go as far as like however far they push her, basically. So yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one because I think Britt was the face of the women's division, and I think, can I criticize Tony for trying to build up other women? Can I criticize Tony for trying to get like other women through? I can't really. I can't. I have to think like it's good that he's trying to not just have Britt, but actually try and build Thunder Rosa, try and build Jamie Hayter. And he's kind of using Britt to help him achieve some of that. So, yeah, I mean, look, the focus isn't on her. She's on the back burner. I don't think it's a problem because I think she'll come back around. But we're just trying to get some other women over. Now, if that's working or not, that's debatable. Like, if Thunder Rosa is a bigger star now than she was when she didn't have the belt, debatable. Jamie Hayter, I don't know if she's a bigger star, but I think she's definitely established now. I think she's used to being on the roster now. And I think those that kind of watch the in-ring wrestling and watch the product, I think have got a real appreciation for what she does. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But I don't think it's a massive problem unless you're like a diehard Brit fan that wants her to be the champ all the time. Like, I think it's fine to like rotate it. Edward said, the King KSI is back in the ring. Let's go. That is this weekend. Edward is one of those flies. What do you think WWE needs to do to keep their momentum going? They just need to keep putting on solid shows. The one thing that I think is going to be a real problem is if people are like, just who's going to return tonight, and if people start tuning in because they want to see what the next return is, that's a problem. Because you're going to get to a point, hopefully, and I actually do hope that it will come quite soon, where we don't get returns. Because, as I said, I think the roster's getting a bit crowded. And I think that, if you have return, it's not going to hit the same. Like, I don't think Hit Row got a great reaction when they returned, because I saw plenty of people on Twitter that were like, no, Triple H, this isn't what we were asking for. Like, we want Bray or we want Johnny Gargano, not top dollar. So like Hit Row was not overwhelmingly positively received. Let's put it that way. But I mean, look, he wanted them. He felt he can do something with them. Fine. I ain't got an issue with it. Fine. But yeah, I mean, there's not loads of Johnny Gargano, Karrion Kross type people out there for him to bring back. So obviously Bray is the biggest one that's out there. And, he could go and get like a Braun or someone, but there's not loads more. And I think the roster's pretty stacked, as I said. And the other thing is, when you get to the point where there's no returns, will you then have people that are disappointed because there's not been a return? Even if the show has got much better than it was, with great wrestling, unscripted promos, some interesting stories. Like, the show itself is solid, but because there's no return, you're going to have people disappointed. I don't know. It starts to become a conversation, doesn't it? Who's coming back this week? And it's like, I don't want that to be the conversation. I want the conversation to be how much better the shows are, just with the more amount of wrestling we're now getting, the promos being better, storylines being quite intriguing. So, yeah, I just think, how do they keep the momentum going? They just need to keep producing really solid shows that people appreciate. Edward said, last one, but I love you, great YouTuber / guy. Appreciate the kind words, Edwards. Hope you are well. Edward says, I'm skint now. I bet you are, mate. I bet you are. Firing in all those super chats. You didn't need to do that, bud. It's obviously appreciated. It all goes back into the channel. And you are a big supporter of the channel. And as I said, it is appreciated. But yes, you didn't need to do it. Jim said, NWA is going to bring in 2 more belts, a women's TV title and US tag team titles. The NWA has got, in my opinion, the NWA has got too many championships. Does sound like a lot of championships, in all fairness. Me Not You said, Daze, with the current women's injuries, does Tennille Dashwood's hint at a WWE return happen solo or with someone like Candice for the tag titles? I don't think she comes back to WWE. I've said before, I just think where people are hinting things on social media, it always makes me think they're not coming. It's not happening. Sometimes it can pay off, but most of the time it doesn't. I mean, look at Johnny. Johnny came back. There was no hint whatsoever. Nothing in the dirt sheets, and that was great. Sometimes people could hint stuff and it does pay off. But as I said, most of the time they hint stuff in it and it doesn't. So I don't know. Look, if I have to think, if Tennille Dashwood's contract has expired with Impact, and she knew that she was going back to WWE, would she tweet something out? Because why does she need to? She's already signed. She's already signed with WWE. So her walking out is going to be a massive surprise. Like, oh my God, Emma's back. Does she need to tease it? Does she need to tweet something out? I mean, you can say it's just a bit of fun, and maybe she will, but I have to admit, I'm not expecting it. Anyone that teases something on social media just makes me think it's not happening. It's just a great way of getting buzz, isn't it? It's just a great way of kind of getting people to talk about you, but there's no guarantee that means that they're actually going to do what they say they're doing. Elizabeth said WWE needs to get rid of the 24/7 belt, then have the North American title and Cruiserweight titles defended on all 3 shows. Evan said, I think Gunther will have the IC title until the end of next year. Daze, will Drew have his old theme of Broken Dreams at Clash with his match with Roman? I don't know. He's teased it, but whether he has it or not, I really don't know. And I have to be honest, I really don't know how many people will care, because I have to think that a vast majority of people that watch now... Can I say that? Can I say majority? I don't know if I can. I'm going to say it. But I don't even know if they know the old theme. I really don't know if they know the old theme now. You got to think of the amount of kids that have got into it, that I just don't know that if they know that old theme or care about it. I don't care about it. It doesn't mean anything to me. I've said before, like the Jeff Hardy one, I totally understood. But like the old Drew theme, it blows my mind, because no one was talking about, oh, I hope he gets his old theme back. And now all of a sudden it's become like a thing. It's this really weird thing where all of a sudden people want him to have his old theme back. And it's kind of become cool to want his old theme back, which is fine if that's what people want. But it's just sort of come out of nowhere, really. Really, since he started teasing it. Since he started teasing it, it got people talking. And now people seemingly do want it to come back. But I'm going to be straight up honest. I don't give a flip. It doesn't make no difference to me. I don't have any emotional connection to his old theme. So whether he uses it, doesn't use it, really not bothered. But he has teased it. I think that in that case, to tease it and then not follow through would be disappointing. So I have to think there is a chance that will happen. But we'll have to wait and see. There's no news as to whether he will or if he won't. I have just caught a spider and let it out the back door. Very good. Very good, Fortnite. Dashwood and Madcap are dating, so I can see her and Candice, or even her and Dana forming a team, says me, not you. Broken Dreams is a great song, says David. Dan says it's New Day in Vietnam. Will you attend Clash? No, not doing Clash. Well, I'm not going to Clash, but we will be doing the stream. Dort Knight said, have you watched any sports this week? Usman interview was fascinating. The mentality of the man is unreal. Overcoming adversity, I truly believe he can come back. I've not seen an interview, but I did see his tweet, and his tweet was, sometimes champs F up. And, it was like, it's not a problem, I'll be back type thing. So, yeah, he seems to be taking it well. He wins like a champ and seemingly loses like a champ as well, and nothing but respect. That's what I've been saying for the past month. Don't you think Triple H is hiring or rehiring too many stars? I think that it is getting there, to be honest. I think that he has clearly looked at the roster and he's decided. I mean, what I hope he's done is I hope that he's sat down and he's gone, right, ideally, for a 3-hour show, I'm going to need this many segments, which means I need this many wrestlers. I'm going to have this many that will be injured or not available. So roughly I need this. This is the rough number I need. And I need that many tag teams. I need that many women. I need that many main roster stars. Now, if he's done that and actually sat down and worked it out that way, which is how I would approach it. If I was given that job, I would sit there and be like, right, what's the roster look like now? And how many segments have I got? How many people are not being used? How many injuries have I got? And try and use that as a bit of a template to work out, okay, for Raw, how many guys do I need? How many girls do I need? How many tag teams do I need? For 2 hours of SmackDown, exact same question. Now, if he's done that and he thinks, okay, I need another tag team, I'll go and get Hit Row. Okay, I need another male star, I'll go and get Carrion. Okay, I need a woman, I'll go and get Sarah Logan. Like, if he's working to a bit of a template and he's got an idea, then fine. Fine, because I feel like at least there is a structure there. I suppose the concern is if he's not doing that and he's just like, get me Hit Row, get me Johnny Gargano, get me Carrion, and it's just bring these people in regardless, then, but there could be a problem. There could be a problem, and it could be getting a bit bloated. It feels to me like, we all want to see Sammy get pushed. We all want to see Kevin get pushed. We all want to see AJ treated better. We all want to see Finn better. But now you're adding Carrion. Cody's going to come back from injury. You got Roman that you've got to do, obviously, big things with. There's a lot of people. There is a lot of people. And it's going to be a tricky situation to keep them all happy. And to be perfectly truthful, you're not going to. You're not going to keep everyone happy. So, Triple H might already know that. And he might already have accepted that. And that might just be part of the job, is you are not going to make everyone happy. So, it's fine. It's fine. If you accept it and know that you can't make everyone happy, then fine. Just bring in the people you want. And those that are sad. But they're sad in catering. Deal with it. And in all fairness, you do at times in this business need to be that ruthless. I mean, you just do need to be that ruthless. You have to do what is best for the business. You have to go with what is the best stories to tell, the people you want to tell. And if that means there's nothing creatively for someone to do, well, so be it. It's just, don't leave those people sat on the sidelines for too long. It's not fair. Make sure that you do, if there's nothing for them for a month or two, which is pretty bad. But if there isn't anything and the show is stacked and storylines are done, then make sure you get to them people that have been sat in catering for a few months and you give them something juicy once your current storylines have played through. So, it's not going to be perfect. This isn't it's never going to be perfect because you're always going to have injuries. You're always going to have to try and plug gaps and go with things that, on the fly, and they're going to have repercussions, and, there's always going to be disappointments. There's always going to be people happy and there'll always be people disappointed. As we've said before, everyone wants to be champion and only certain people can. So, you're going to have to make decisions on who gets the belts and who doesn't, who gets the wins and who doesn't, who gets used and who doesn't. So these are all, decisions that are not enviable. These are the harder sides of, the creative stuff. So for me personally, I think he's all right at the moment. I think where we are is all right. But, and certainly if you think Edge is saying that he's going to retire next year, that's going to be a roster spot, isn't it? But you've got Gable Steveson come in. You've got Bron Breakker waiting. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan. I mean, the rosters feel better than for a long time. Really strong. And if you drop Bray in as well, I mean, you've got a bit of everything, haven't you? So, yeah, really, really strong rosters. I don't know, though, if he's going to keep adding, but I am starting to get a bit... If I was Nick Khan, I'd be a bit do we need more at this point? How are you gonna use all these people? So I'd definitely be having a conversation. Let's put it that way. I'm so excited for Johnny's return. I was worried he would go to AEW, which I'm 80% sure he would have if Vince was in charge. I agree, Nando. I agree. I was worried as well. I mean, I think they would have used him all right. I can't say well because I don't think Adam Cole has been used well. And I think there's a few stars over there that haven't been used well. I don't think Miro's been used well. I don't think Pac's been used all that well. I know he's got the All-Atlantic Championship, but it's a brand new belt that doesn't mean anything, to be honest. So I kind of do look over there and see that, a few Daniel Bryan seems to be used well. Moxley's used great. But there's definitely some people over there that I look at and go, grass definitely is not always greener. And if Johnny had gone over there, I think they would have used him, similar to Adam Cole. He would have got on the show. But I think part of the problem with AEW is they've got a lot of stars. They've only got so much TV time. I mean, their TV time is 3 hours. But, I mean, one of those hours... Are people really tuning in? I mean, the latest numbers have got them down in 400,000, which is less than NXT. So, do you know what I mean? How much can you count that hour of Rampage if people are just not tuning into it? So really, it feels like you've got 2 hours of Dynamite, and that's it each week, really. So not only have you just not got the TV time that WWE has got, but their shows as well. They don't have a WrestleMania. They don't have these big stadium shows. So it just feels like, where's Johnny's big moment going to happen? If he wins the AEW championship, it's just going to be in an arena, isn't it? In Chicago, maybe. Which is fine, but that's as good as it will ever be, or certainly at the moment. Whereas, Johnny actually made that point, is like, I want to win Royal Rumbles. I want my WrestleMania moments. And that is true. That is what you get with WWE that you don't get with AEW. Would you rather win a Royal Rumble or a Casino Battle Royal? I mean, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Would you rather have a WrestleMania moment or an all-out moment? Like, again, it's a no-brainer. And so, I think that as soon as Vince went, Johnny's mind was easily made up. But the concern was that he might have already pre-signed, or he might have already agreed with AEW to go there. And, then we would have been denied all of those kind of future WrestleMania moments and, those great Johnny moments. So, yeah, I must admit, I was really pleased as well that he decided to go to WWE. There's just so many great matches for him as well. And now with Triple H booking, we will get great matches. It's not like when Vince was there, it's like, oh, there's loads of great matches, but we won't get actually great wrestling. You will now. You will. Not only will Triple H set the table, but he will allow them to eat. And he will allow them to show us these incredible, incredible matches. I mean, I do think Meltzer's been harsh, because I do think that there's been more 5-star matches on the WWE main roster than what Meltzer has actually given them. Shawn Undertaker, of course, comes to mind. But I think that... So they deserve more 5 stars because they haven't got that many on the main roster at all. I think it's around 20 in its history. They've got about 25-star matches. And I think that's like excluded NXT. But to be honest, I might even be over. Like if you take NXT out, it might be less than 20 for the main roster. So they have not had that many. But I think now with Triple H, I am expecting matches to be booked, really intriguing matches, and them to be allowed to show what they can do. This is just such an exciting time for Johnny, and obviously for us as a result. I think Rollins, Cody versus Gargano could main event a WrestleMania. Dark Knight said, would you rather win a Rumble, Hunger Games, or escape the game show from the Running Man? I would... Well, it depends. Am I in all of those? Because if I'm in all of those, I don't lose my life if I lose a Rumble. But I do lose my life, don't I, if I don't win Hunger Games or the Running Man. Either way, I'm dying, aren't I? Because if I'm in all 3 and I can only win 1, I'm definitely dying, because you die in the Hunger Games and you die in the Running Man. And who knows, if you don't win the Rumble, you might die in that under Triple H. So who knows? So I suppose I'll go Rumble. Either way, I'm going to die. So I'll go Royal Rumble. I don't need to, but you deserve it, says Edwards. It's very kind, dude. Very kind. Jamie said, Daze, I just left Uncle Ped's. Now in the best night in Benidorm. I'm about to be live on stage, rocking it with the legend Pablo Bloom, singing You'll Never Walk Alone. Audience loved it. Smashed it. Amazing. Shout out to you, Jamie, and everyone that's in Benidorm right now. Love those guys. Love those guys. You have to send a picture. Tweet us a picture of you in Benidorm with the crew, and we'll show it on stream. So get working on that. Mr. Mercedes Spiteful said, if Triple H wants to go back to a 2-hour Raw, would that mean he'd have to limit the roster? It just won't happen is the answer, because they make money that way, and like there's no way Steph would sign that off, or certainly no way Nick Khan is signing that off. Nick Khan has actually done a sit-down interview. I don't know who he did it with, I can't remember, but he's done a sit-down interview saying that if they could make Raw 4 hours, they would do it, because that's what it's all about. It's all about getting that ad revenue. You know, for us, it's about the quality of the show. For Nick Khan, it's about how much money can I make from ads. And, 3 hours gives them a third hour of ad revenue. So If anything, he would go longer, not shorter. So it's just not going to happen, is the answer. How other than family story would you book Rock Roman? I wouldn't, to be honest. I don't think that you can book it any other way apart from a family story because it is family, isn't it? They are family. So you can't really ignore that. And the way that the bloodline and the fact that, you know, they've got the bloodline and it's all about family. And I just don't see how you could or why you would want to book it a different way. Like to ignore the family thing, I think is just ignoring the elephant in the room. So it doesn't really make sense to go any other way. So the answer is I wouldn't. If I was forced to, then you could come up with a story. You know, you could have Roman jealous of The Rock's movie career or something, and you could go down that road. But why would you need to create a story when you've got a perfect one right there, which is, you know, Rock is ashamed of Roman and the disgrace that he's bringing to the family name. Like, for me, that's the story. Raw did over 2 million against NFL competition on a Monday. That's great. The Fallout show for SummerSlam did 2.2. It's about keeping eyeballs, and so far it's been 19192 in the last 3 weeks. Yep, very good. Very good. Good numbers. 3 hours is okay, not too much and not too less, says Mr. Mercedes Spiteful. I'm surprised that WWE has not convinced Fox into making SmackDown a third hour. No, I agree, actually. I agree. I'm also quite surprised that they've not managed to do that. I don't know if there's like a certain show that follows SmackDown that can't be moved or is, I don't know, a sports thing. I have no idea. But I do agree, yeah. I'm surprised that they've got Raw for 3 hours and SmackDown only for 2. I've got to think that's a conversation that's been had. Zero said, in your opinion, what title reign was better last year, Kenny or Roman? That's a really good question. It's a good question because I liked Kenny as champion, and I really like Don Callis being with him. And he does have some really great matches. It doesn't obviously have the longevity that Roman has. So, you know, Roman has some decent matches, but I actually think Roman's reign overall, I mean, who did he face last year? His match with John Cena is really good. He has a great match. His Royal Rumble match with Kevin Owens is good. We are still in like the lockdown pandemic stuff, though, aren't we? I mean, we kind of come out of that, I want to say, around WrestleMania. So it is definitely a bit subdued by that, but that affects both. I think it's really hard. I think it's really hard because the Roman title reign is better than the Kenny reign because it's longer and he faces, I would say, he's had more better matches as a result. But it's quite interesting if you was to just look at Kenny's reign, however long, you know, that was, from what month to what month, compare that to just that part of Roman's reign. My guess is that the Kenny reign was better. If you only look at that little segment in time and compare it to Roman's segment in time, my gut feeling is I would go Kenny, but you can't really do that. If you just compare reigns, then Roman's is easily the better. But it's only because it's so much longer, and as a result, he's had more time to have better matches. So Roman's reign is better, but if you actually just go head-to-head with that length of time, I might go Kenny Omega. I enjoyed his title reign. I thought he had some really good matches. I thought he did some really good stuff. And as I said, I really like his dynamic with Don Callis as well. So I was quite pleased that Don came back the other day. 10 minutes, yeah, less than 10 minutes, and then we will be up and running with NXT this week. When is NXT? In 10 minutes. Are people meant to include house shows as title defenses, as CM Punk defended his title 141 times? that's a tricky one because you don't really ever talk about number of title defenses. So when you talk about Bruno Sammartino, the conversation is never how many times did he defend the title, which actually would be a much better way of measuring someone's title reign. Because it doesn't really matter if you have it for 2 years or if you have it for 8 months. If in both time scales you defended it 300 times, it doesn't really matter if you defended it. If anything, it's more impressive if you managed to defend it 300 times in 8 months than if you did it across 2 years. So, it's really funny. The answer to your question is that is just not how it's measured. So I couldn't give you an answer on that. I think they would count. But it's never measured that way. We don't rank champions by the number of title defenses they've had. Champions tend to get ranked, I would say, probably first and foremost by, at the moment, it's Daze, because obviously Roman is champ and he's had it for so long. It tends to be Daze and how many days he's had it for. But when we talk about someone like, say, Brock Lesnar, we won't say that he had a combined title reign of 900 days. We would say he's a former 2-time, 3-time WWE champion. It's actually done like Ric Flair. We don't say how many days Ric Flair was champion for. We don't say how many times he defended the title. We say he's a 16-time world champion. So the way that it's worded is you go by how many times they won it. Then if they're in the middle of a reign, you would talk about how many days they've had it. And honestly, at no point would you talk about how many times they defended it. It's just not a metric that ever comes up. But I would say of all the metrics, it's actually the one we probably should use. We probably should use number of title defenses, because that gives you a better idea as to how they performed as a champion. Because if you're a 16-time champion, I mean, look at Charlotte. Charlotte's only been on the main roster since 2015. She's already at, 12? So much. She's at quite a high number of world titles that she's won. But that's because her reigns are relatively short. So, she's got this amazing record of 12 world titles or whatever the number is. But it's not a very good way of measuring, it's good that she's able to constantly be in the main event and constantly get the belt back. That's good. But you equally can look at it and say, well, is it not better? Is Bruno's reign not more important and not more impressive that he held it for 7 years and he didn't lose it? So he didn't need to win it back because he never lost it. That to me is more impressive. Do you know what's mental? Bruno's title reign was 7 years, right? And to put that into perspective, that's the same amount of time Charlotte has been on the main roster. She came onto the main roster in 2015. It's 2022 now. So Charlotte has been on the main roster 7 years. So Charlotte is a, multiple-time women's champion. But to me, it's way more impressive that Bruno had a title reign that was that long. And that is crazy, isn't it? If anyone is going to beat Bruno's title reign, they would need to lose the belt now, and they would need to have won it before AJ Styles even arrived in WWE. They would have to have won it when we got Sasha and all of them getting called up, and we had PCB, and we had what were the other teams? Team Bad, which was Naomi, Tamina, and Sasha. We had Team PCB, which was Paige, Charlotte, and Becky. And we had Team Bella, which was the Bellas and Alicia Fox. And those 3 teams, those 9 women, they really did make up. I don't think they were all the women. There was other women that were around, but they were the main focus of the women's revolution. So that was a big moment in 2015. But in order for anyone to have the same title reign as Bruno, they would have to have won the belt then and then be losing it now. That's insane. And that counts as 1 title reign for Bruno. So measuring it on days is pretty good. It's pretty good. But it doesn't take into account how many times you defended it. Look at Shinsuke with his Intercontinental Championship the other year. He never defended it. We went months without that title being defended. the record books will show that he had it for a long time, but the truth is that he never defended it. So, yeah, I kind of... saying how many times they actually defended it is a much better way of doing it. It's just a bit of a shame we don't do that. Didn't Moolah or Mae Young have a stupid long run? Yeah, Moolah had a 20... off the top of my head, 26 years. But the thing was, that belt, I believe, started as the NWA women's belt. When Moolah came to WWE, they just were like, okay, we'll rebrand it as the WWF women's title, and we'll, just carry on the lineage. So they made out that she'd had it for 26 years, and she had. I think she had, though, in all truth, dropped it, lost it, won it back, right? So I think she had lost it. But the thing is, in the territory days, who cares? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you lose it in a town one night and win it back the next night, no one needs to know, do they? So I think she had actually lost it and won it back and whatever. But by and large, she had. It's not like someone had gone off for like months on an end with it. So, yeah, there are little breaks in that reign. So they ignore those. And they say it's a 26-year title reign. But you've got to remember that she ran women's wrestling largely. If you ran a promotion in the NWA and you wanted some women for like an attraction, because back then women were an attraction. It was like, oh, we're going to have a women's match. We're going to have a couple of women wrestling next week. Come down and watch. There wouldn't be main event or anything. They'd just be on the card and it'd be something different. So you would call Moolah and she would send you a couple of women to work that match. And then she would take a load of their pay. And that's how it was booked. And so she never really booked herself to lose the women's title. She was the women's champion. She would never book anyone to really take that belt from her. If they were going to work a bit of a program, I believe she did drop it and then she would win it back very quickly. So that there'd be a bit of a story, a bit of a feud. But by and large, yeah, she had it for like 26 years. But there's, as I said, asterisks next to that. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you can compare that to what Roman is doing now or what Bruno did or what Hogan did and things along those lines. Like, it's definitely a seedier title reign. But it is officially recognized by WWE as being that long, so... when's the next triple tag tournament featuring the Bucks? I'd have to think Friday. But maybe not. I don't know if they've announced yet what they're doing for this week's Dynamite. They surely have. I'll have a quick look. We will be going over to NXT very, very soon. AEW Dynamite. New segment revealed for Dynamite. What is that segment? Oh, here we go. Below is what we've got. So we've got Jericho Garcia face-to-face. Starks is going to address Powerhouse Hobbs. Britt Baker taking on Kylie King. Billy Gunn takes on Colton Gunn. We've got AEW Triple Eight Ring of Honor World Champion Dax Harwood taking on Jay Lethal. First round match of the trios, Death Triangle versus United Empire. And the winners will face the Elite in the semi-finals. So they won't be wrestling this week, maybe the week after, because the winner this week will face the Elite. CM Punk is taking on Jon Moxley. Oh, yeah, that's this week, isn't it? That's tomorrow. Looks like quite a big Dynamite, actually. Do you know they're in Cleveland? And I saw someone say they think that's why Johnny debuted on Raw, because they don't want AEW getting a bump from people going, oh my God, we're in Cleveland. Johnny could debut. No one's going to say Johnny's going to debut now because he's debuted in WWE. So that's why they think he debuted last night, which I thought was really interesting because that could be true, couldn't it? Oh my God, did you know AEW in Cleveland, everyone's going to think Johnny's going to be there? Let's debut him on Raw. Let's do it now. Let's bring him on now so they don't get that bump. Because in all fairness, their ratings are around 900,000. If people think Johnny might come in, that might just push it up a little bit. Well, WWE have stopped that. So, cheeky. Hayden said, I've got information about what country does my last name originate from. It's England. I knew you as a good person, Hayden. I've always felt that we've had a connection, and now that makes total sense, bud. Makes total sense. It's because deep down, you're English. Deep down, you are English, Hayden. I expect you now to get a Union Jack. I expect you to say, "Good morning, mother." What? Things like that. Drink tea. And I expect you to shun New Zealand. I expect you to turn your back on New Zealand now, Hayden. Embrace your Englishness, yeah? I expect you to queue everywhere. I expect you to complain. I expect you to love the Queen, but I think you do anyway, so maximum respect for that. I expect you to live in a castle now, because we all live in castles. And I expect you to... What else do we do in England? Have bad teeth. That's what I expect. I expect you to have bad teeth. What? Good morning, mother. Are we having crumpets? Crumpets and tea for me, mother, please. I'm brand new, says John. Hello, John. Welcome, John. Welcome. We're just seeing what happened last week with Tyler Bate making his way down to the ring. Turn your back on the Bushwhackers. Oh, no, bring them with them. Bring Bushwhackers. Love Bushwhackers. I would say Bushwhackers are the only good thing to come out of New Zealand. I am joking. I like New Zealand. But I do also stand by what I just said. Way! Right, here's Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker making his way down. Guys, we are live. I mean, I'm sure you knew that anyway, but that's not entirely true. People still say CM Punk is going to return to WWE. That's true. CM Punk. T85 Restored said Mark Andrews getting released is a crime. It's a crime against wrestling. He was caught. Yeah, that was a bit of a shock. Trent Seven to me was a bigger shock. Orlando, where's my dogs at? Right. We had a banger in this ring. JD proved is one of the very best in the world. Tyler Bate made his presence felt. Big strong boy chants. Come on down to the ring. Let's talk. Come on down to the ring. Let's talk. Tyler Bate. Bum, bum, bum. Tyler Bate making his way down. The NXT UK champion. Lol. Is that tournament finished yet? First ever NXT UK champion. I mean, that belt doesn't mean anything anymore, does it? I mean, it looks amazing. I tell you what, the biggest victim of NXT UK shutting down is the fact that that GOAT belt is going away. You're so kind. Thank you for the kind invitation. Congratulations on your win. You're so polite. You're so English. For real. I know how good JD is. And I've got big respect to you. I thought he was a heel. Is he not a heel? I'm not here to collect air miles. NXT UK has been home to some of the best. He said he's proud flag bearer of NXT UK. First and last. First and last champ. They're going to unify the titles. The belt's going in it. I mean, I knew it was going, but I'm just sad to realise it now. I know who you are. I've watched from afar. I know the threat that you are. If I think NXT UK, I think Tyler Bate. But this isn't NXT UK. This is the NXT. Oh, sadness. I think there should only be one NXT champ. Let's make history. Worlds collide. Title unification. If I was Tyler Bate now, I'd be like, also, can I just have the microphone? Also, if I win, we get to keep my belt, yeah? 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 Thank you. You can, thank you. I would just say that. And hope no one noticed. But I wonder where The Miz is right now. I shudder to think. He's probably in some kind of sex dungeon. Right, that is our opening segment then. Bit of big news. Don't know if it's surprising news. I think we all expected them to face each other at Worlds Collide following last week. Title unification. Suppose should have seen that come in. But I've got that NXT UK title. Hopefully they go on sale, because I never got one. So hopefully they go on sale. They probably won't, though, because they still sell a lot of like old belts which are no longer around at like full price. But I don't know. Perhaps they'd like to reduce their stock a little bit. Imagine teasing a Miz update for NXT last night. It could get a ratings boost. Did they give a location? Worlds Collide, which I've just sort of presumed is going to be there. At that place, wherever that is. Performance Center. That's the word I was looking for. In my head, for a second, Capital Wrestling Center came into my head because that's what it used to be called. But it's not called that anymore. Right, here we go then. Gallus making their way down. Bate might win since he's a Paul guy. Gallus versus Briggs and Jensen. Gallus don't really do it for me, to be honest. The longest reigning NXT tag team champs. What's this? Earlier, we're just seeing. Lots of arguing backstage. Gallus, there we go. Right, I wonder if Maurice has filed a missing person report. Rivi, hello, hope you are well. Hoff Sports Media said Gallus definitely win here. Pablo said, sorry I'm late, I can't watch NXT because my dad is using it. That's fine. Drops of Jupiter, shout out to you. John said Gallus will win this, I sense. Rotem says, pray for the Miz. Who is she fighting with? I don't even know her name. The one that's with Brooks and Jensen seemed to be screaming at, is it Lash Legend? That was a little backstage moment that we just had. We are at commercial break. Ryan said, do you think Tyler Bate will be on the main roster one day? I do, yes. I think he's a wonderful talent. I've been a big fan of his since he first started. I actually predicted he would win. It was a fluke, but I did predict he would win that UK tournament back in 2017. Pete Dunne went in as the favourite, but I just thought, well, I can see them going with Tyler. I think Pete Dunne's, the future, and so would you give him the belt straight away? I was torn between those two, but I went Tyler Bate, and Tyler Bate won, and it was a great. I was there. It was a great moment. So I've met him a couple of times as well. I was at the Royal Albert Hall when they win the NXT tag team titles. I mean, obviously Tyler Bate's been in NXT before. This isn't like his first arrival. He's a former NXT tag team champion, and they used to actually defend the NXT UK Championship on NXT a few times. So he's even defended the NXT UK Championship in his first run on NXT at Full Sail. And then, of course, he has that incredible match with Pete Dunne where he finally loses it. So that is my favorite. That might be my favorite NXT match. I think it is. The only thing that would make me question it is maybe a Gunther match. Gunther and Tommaso was amazing. Sammy and Shinsuke was amazing. Sasha and Bayley at Brooklyn is amazing. Johnny Gargano against Andrade was amazing. I would actually take Johnny Andrade over, I think, any of the Johnny Tommaso matches, which is controversial. It's controversial. It's a hot take. But I might take Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate over all of them, Such an incredible match. So if you've not had a chance to watch it, I think it's TakeOver Chicago. I think. But it's brilliant. Adam Cole against Gargano. Good. That's brilliant. First thing Pete Dunne needs to do when he returns is to tell Sheamus to shut up, mate. Shut up, mate. Yes. And also change his name. The Butch gimmick is stupid. When I think of NXT UK, I think of Bates as T85. I wonder if Maurice had it set up Dexter was bringing Miz to her. I don't think so. I don't think she's a part of this. But it would be fun if she was. Perhaps he didn't do the washing up and she was really upset about it. And so she got in touch with Dexter Lumis and said, can you kidnap him? Teach him a lesson. Because it will shake him up and he'll definitely do the washing up then. Pete Dunne needs to go back to beating the bleep out of people, says John. The Butch gimmick is a bit silly. I agree. It's like Scrappy Doo, isn't it? And even the Butch name, it's just all... It just makes fun of his height, really. It just kind of makes, he's called Butch because he's... I'm not really Butch. I just don't like it. Right, we've got Briggs and Jensen making their way down. Getting into the ring. There's Wolfgang kicking out. So these three... Haven't seen these guys wrestle all that much, to be honest. Wolfgang is pretty fired up. The UK tag belts are all right. I don't love them as much as I do the NXT UK Championship, but they're all right. Strikes coming in here by Wolfgang then. We are underway. There's a video game called Bully. The bully is named Butch, says Larry. I didn't know the bully in Bully was named Butch. I have played it. But I played it when it came out. I think it's like a PS2 game, isn't it? It's quite an old game, but good game. Rockstar, isn't it? I think the same people that do Grand Theft Auto. Shoulder tackle. Briggs and Jensen looking pretty good in the early stages. We've got a lights out match tonight. Wendy Chu taking on Tiffany Stratton. So we've got that coming up. Did you see the preview for CM Punk Moxley on AEW's YouTube channel? No, because I never go on AEW's YouTube channel. But I think CM Punk is going to be turning heel. It's going to be in Moxley's hometown tomorrow. Interesting. Daze, don't know if you saw, Casemiro is 5 million on the Fantasy Premier League. I don't think he's going to get any attacking returns, though, is he? But for that amount of money, you've got to think he's playing every week. So you're getting a player that's going to play every week. And who knows, he might crop up with the odd assist. That's interesting. That's interesting. I've already played my wild card for the Fantasy Premier League. I always do it early. Just because you get price rises. So you might as well just make the changes you need to make now. So I've already pulled the trigger. His name's Jimmy, not Butch, says Anthony. What, in Bully? Oh, now we've got conflicting reports. What about Volta versus Dragunov? That would come to my mind, yeah. So my favourite is Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate. The only ones that would really rival that might be Volta against Ciampa. Volta against Dragunov. The second one was fantastic as well. I completely agree. I still think, though, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate for me. I would take that over Johnny and Adam Cole. I just absolutely love that match. Love that match. Punk needs the heel turn, says John. Right, we are at commercial break. Moxley isn't from Cleveland. He's from Cincinnati, which is basically Kentucky. Cincinnati Fried Chicken. What about Orton, RKO in the Dragons of HBO? What? I've not used anything yet, just free transfers. It's good to have it up your sleeve, though. It's good that you've still got it. I would just say be careful of the price rises, because the team that you could have now, you probably won't get in a few weeks as like all the players continue to just go up in price. So I always get in early so I can get like the best team I can. Obviously, it's a gamble because it's hard to go off 2-3 weeks worth of data, but it's a gamble that's always worked for me before. So if Bray returns, he needs to have an interaction with Gacy, said T85. Joshy said, are you watching Clash at the Castle? Yes. Big Time Baxter said, AEW has struggled to maintain 1 million since March. They have done over 1 million once. If this Punk Moxley 2 world title doesn't draw over 1 million, is that disappointing for Tony? Yeah, I'd say it is. I'd say it is because they're at 900,000. This is a massive match. It's to unify the AEW World Championships. There's not many things you could do that's bigger than that. And it's got their biggest star. CM Punk is, according to Tony, the guy that brings in the biggest ratings, biggest views. So, CM Punk's their biggest star. Moxley's got to be one of their biggest stars. It's champion versus champion. It's had a few good, few weeks build. And we've all known that they were going to face once CM Punk came back. So I think if they don't break 1 million, it would be disappointing, yeah. I don't know how disappointing or how much of a disaster it would be. But I think Tony, if you used to ask Tony, do you want to break 1 million? I think he'd be like, of course. So, I've got to think that he's certainly not going to want it to go down, is he? So if it goes down, that's a disaster. If it stays at 900,000, I have to think that's a disappointment. And I think what they'd be hoping for is to break the 1 million, yeah. AEW has to deliver Wednesday night or bust. That match has WWE all over it, says I'm Kyle. Jaden said there are 3 pivotal players they have a chance of playing. Clash at the Castle is shaping up to be great. Jim said Walter and Kaylee Ray had long reigns as UK champs. Yet should those day when NXT UK because of pandemic count? That's good. Good shout. Yeah, it's a good shout. I don't think there's an answer to that because we've never had to really go through that, have we? So should it count when it was closed? Maybe you make the argument no. Maybe you make the argument that it was furloughed and, you can't defend the belt, so why should it count? How is it fair that other people have got to go up against that? That's the argument. So I would say no, it shouldn't count. I think from the moment that they cease the show and don't do any other shows to the moment it restarts, that should all be removed. Daze, is Batista ever going to wrestle again? I don't believe so. He retired and he seems pretty happy with that retirement. So I'm not expecting him to. Anything I missed on the women's side? There's been nothing for the women. Whoever this woman is that's with Briggs and Jensen, I don't know her name. She just got into a little heated argument backstage with Lash Legend. And she had to get dragged away. That's all we've seen from the women. The show, it's only been going 20-odd minutes. Opened with Tyler Bate and Bron Breakker. We know that they're going to unify the titles at Worlds Collide. And now here we are. This is an NXT UK Tag Team Championships. What's going to happen with these tag titles, though? They're going to have to unify these, aren't they? There's no point having NXT UK tag belts floating around. And what are we going to do with Miko's women's title? Does that mean at the moment we're getting Mandy Rose against Miko unification? Because I've got to think Miko's winning that. If Mandy Rose wins that, that'll be a flipping disgrace. Miko Satomura as the NXT Women's Champion. I can vibe with that. Meltzer is reporting that Tony Khan is currently in talks of renewal negotiations with Warner. Meltzer said another reason Tony wants to do a big match is to tout this big rating to Warner. Strikes. Briggs and Jensen, big boot. In control at the moment. Big slam. Splash. I think it's Briggs, isn't it, here that's unloading. Oh. Lash Legend has attacked from behind. These two are going at it. Now we've got a big brawl on the outside. This thing has fallen apart. We've got absolute carnage here. Pretty Deadly are here now. Pretty Deadly are getting involved. And there's going to be a count out as a result. Titles do not change hands on a count out. Gallus win by count out. Oh, now we've got Damon Kemp getting in there. Creeds. We've got Diamond Mine in the ring. Oh, it's gone full on AE-dub. Full on AE-dub right now. Brawl after brawl after brawl. You get a brawl, and you get a brawl. So, we've had Gallus win by count out. This is chaotic. This is absolute carnage. Backstage with Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller effect coming up. Would you rather have a brawl or a 10-minute promo? 10-minute promo. Definitely. Okay, so we had Diamond Mine attack. Diamond Mine attack Gallus. Isn't this Dynamite? Quiver at the river, says Larry. Scramble at the preamble. Scramble at the preamble. Quiver of the liver. Do you think the rumors are true about ex-WWE guys are going to start a faction, something like NWO or Main Event Mafia? CM Punk could lead it with ex-WWE guys against AEW originals. I can't say I've heard that rumor. If they do it, I don't know what impact it will have because it might be all right, but it's very NWO. Is it a bit too similar? I don't know. I don't know if it's a bit too similar. Gallus beats Briggs and Jensen by count out. There we go. Right, let's get our scroll at the bottom. I think it needs to change. I think there's a slight mistake with it. We are at commercial break if you are just joining us. So, first match. First match has seen... first match has seen a count-out win for Gallus. Coming up, we've got the Grayson Waller effect. So we've got Grayson Waller going to be in a segment. Do you think CM Punk made a mistake going to AEW? He should have buried the bridges, returned to WWE. No, I don't think he made a mistake if that's where he wants to be. If you've got to remember that he's got a lot of bad memories and feelings about WWE. They sent him his termination papers on his wedding day. He obviously was, in his words, like being forced to work when he was injured. I mean, it's just not a place that he is fond of or has got fond memories of or respects. And so for him, I don't know that he ever lost his love of pro wrestling. I think he has always loved pro wrestling, but I just think he absolutely never wanted to go back to WWE. I just don't think he had any interest in returning there. And maybe he might have been tempted if they reached out and there was maybe some good money on the line. I really don't know, but to be honest, I think it's a bit of a no-brainer, him going to AEW. I think he thought he would be happier there, but obviously we're hearing reports now that it's all a bit dramatic backstage. Him and Hangman kind of having a falling out. Apparently him and Tony as well having a bit of a falling out. So, I don't know. Maybe CM Punk's a little tricky to work with. I don't know. But I can't say he was wrong to not go back to WWE. It'd be great for the fans, but I don't know that it would have been great for him. What happened to Gable Steveson? I think they're just getting him ready, to be honest. They've not had anything creative for him, but also apparently he has been training with... Oh, who's he been training with? Mr. Kennedy, I think. I saw an interview with Mr. Kennedy where he was talking about his training school, and he was talking about how he's got a current student that's on the main roster. And he got pushed like, oh my God, who is it? And he was like, well, okay, I shouldn't say, but it's Gable Steveson. So he's actually, I know he is training at the moment. And hopefully what that means is that when he does arrive, he's going to look like a beast. So that means he's going to be ready. Because it's really difficult to like hit the main roster when you've not had any kind of indie exposure. He's just got that amateur wrestling background. He's never done professional wrestling. And it's different. There's lots of things that cross over, but it's different. Right, we've got Chase University. We've got Charlie Dempsey. Charlie Dempsey's here to teach some... This reminds me a lot of like Timothy Thatcher when he was doing stuff like this. Dempsey turning an exhibition. Yeah, it's very Timothy Thatcher, this. Here's Bodie. Dempsey gets him down in a headlock. And he taps him out. Your class is too soft. Oh, Billy Robinson mentioned. Damn. For your homework, Google Billy Robinson. That's pretty cool. Right, we've got Bron Breakker, Tyler Bate, NXT Championship Unification match. We've got the graphic. So we just had a little Chase University segment. William Regal sent, yeah. Okay, here we go then. We've got the Grayson Waller effect segment. I like the set. Yeah, this is good. I've said I like these talk show segments. And certainly if they actually invest in a bit of a set. Grayson Waller. So he's got a desk, he's got some plants. Yeah, this is all right. NXT has been aching for a show like this. All of WWE has. They're chanting Johnny Wrestling. Why are they chanting Johnny Wrestling? I know he sent him out of NXT, but he's not going to be coming back here, is he? Do you think WWE will make Johnny somewhat the next Daniel Bryan underdog B+ player? Yeah. Yeah, he's screaming to be used that way. Okay, so he's just introducing Apollo. He's almost done it all. Nine months ago, Grayson attacked Johnny on his way out. Do you think Johnny shows up to go after Grayson? No. Johnny's on the main roster. No. I must admit, I was very surprised at the Johnny Wrestling chants. I'm surprised the fans think that Johnny would come back to NXT, like he's done with NXT. That was a way of writing him off of NXT. So Apollo making his way down to the ring. Just having a look at the set. It's a nice set. The Grayson Waller effect. It's been 10 months for Mandy as NXT Women's Champ. Do you think she'll lose it soon? Hopefully. I'm not a Mandy fan, to be honest. He had the chair down, and he was like, "Oh, you're looking a bit short there." You're a clout chaser. You want to steal from the Grayson Waller hype train? Four-way tag team unification. Who would be in the four-way? Do you mean just the NXT UK tag champs and like a tag team unification? We could get that. They might do full-on unifications. Okay, so Apollo says, I knew that people would be jealous of me, people like you. Didn't you used to have an accent? Didn't you used to have an accent? Yeah, great question. Yeah! Apollo Crews is still a Nigerian warrior. Did he? I don't remember him being intercontinental. I got too caught up focusing on my past. I like that line. I like that line. Too caught up focusing on my past. I like this talk show segment because We're asking questions that we ask. Where's his accent gone? I'm a big dreamer. I'm a huge visual thinker. He was IC champion. God, honestly, anything to do with Apollo has just been blanked out of my memory. Where was you last week when Gallus attacked Diamond Mine? Will you stop interrupting me? Grayson Waller is annoying, isn't he? Isn't the women's last chance match a bit weak, but I'm rooting for Doudrop and Nikki ASH or Natalya and Sonya? I don't know what the alternative is, to be honest, because you've already gone through the first round. If you put a new team in, it's not very fair because they won't have gone through that first round. So kind of makes sense to do, second chance. I do think that Alexa and Asuka should be in it, though. Because I said before, what about their second chance? They've only lost one match. They lost in the semi-final. So why can't they have a second chance? Why is it only people that are lost in the first round get a second chance? They're being punished because they were more successful. That's crazy, isn't it? Second chance, but not if you was good enough to get through to the next round. How does it feel? Oh, how does it feel when you tell your kids Daddy couldn't cut it on a Monday or a Friday? I tell him Dad was a champ on Monday, Dad was a champ on Friday, and Dad'll soon be a champ on Tuesday. Great. 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 Do you know what? I really love that show. Him as a talk show host, I get, he's a really flipping annoying, but he's meant to be. And I get like Roddy Piper vibes. Do you know what I mean? He asks the questions that we all ask. And actually, as a result, it makes Apollo look better. Apollo, after that segment, looks better in my eyes now. Because where has the accent gone? Like, what are we doing with him? Him saying and getting the opportunity to say, I'm so focused on my past, I wasn't focused on the present, totally explains why he's dropped the accent. What's it like to tell your kids that you was, you couldn't do it on a Monday or a Friday? And Apollo responds, I tell my kids I was a champ on a Monday and a champ on a Friday, and I'll soon be a champ on a Tuesday. That's a great line. That whole segment was really entertaining, and it really addressed, I think, the things us fans like talk about. It's the kind of stuff that Vince would always just bury under the carpet, just whatever, forget about it. Move on, doesn't matter. But, no, really good. Really, really good. I want to write that line down, actually. What was it? How does it feel? How does it feel to tell your kids you couldn't cut it on a Monday or a Friday? Good. They're the biggest team at the moment, as Raquel and Aaliyah are still rising stars, says Mr. Mercedes Spiteful. Very interesting seeing Grayson Waller as a talk show host, says Hayden. Coach Co said, The Simpsons creator intended for Homer Simpson to be Krusty the Clown. Listen, mate, pure Scottish. That was man win it. What? Piper wasn't just an annoying loudmouth. He had charisma, was funny, and had fan appeal. Grayson Waller doesn't measure up to Piper. No, he doesn't measure up to Piper. No, I'm certainly not saying that. But what I am saying is that he is a very confident talker. He is annoying and a heel, and he definitely gets more out of those talk show segments than what I've seen from the Kevin Owens show, Miz TV, Moment of Bliss. Like those, I mean, in all fairness, all of those shows were scripted under Vince. And Vince was never going to ask those kinds of questions that have just been asked there. But this kind of felt like it was Grayson Waller shooting from the hip. Like, I actually don't know who wrote that segment, but if you told me that it was like just Apollo and Grayson that sat down and wrote it themselves, I could believe that. I could believe that, because that certainly doesn't feel like something that would be written on the main roster. So yeah, I really like it. I hope they do more of them, and I hope that he asks those questions that we as fans ask, like the kind of, where did his accent go? That's a great question. Where did his accent go? Why did he have that? Because it was stupid is the answer, but I really like his answer. His answers there were really good. Daze, would you ever consider using brown gravy as a dressing on lady/man parts for naughty purposes? No. Mainly because it's hot. And that's not going to be any fun for anybody. But also, I'm not a massive gravy fan. I mean, like, gravy is loved here in the UK. Like, on a Sunday, you would have a roast dinner. So you'd have, like, roast beef. You'd have roast potatoes. You'd have veg. You'd have, Yorkshire puddings. Parsnips, your cabbage, your carrots, your peas. Like, you'd have all that on a plate on a Sunday, and then you finish it off with plenty of gravy. That's what people do. And I must admit, like, that meal is quite dry. It's not a meal that I actually enjoy or really look forward to, because I find it very dry. So I would have to put a bit of gravy on, but I'm just not the biggest gravy fan. It depends what gravy you're having, I suppose. If you use the juices from the meat and kind of mix it, like use that and whatever, then you could make like a really lovely gravy. But to be honest, we just tend to have like gravy granules, like Bisto, which are like these granules that you just put water in and there's your gravy. It's just not the same. It's not as good. You need the juices from the meat and everything. That's proper gravy. I would gladly put that on people's private parts. Like, no, I wouldn't even think twice about that if it was real gravy. But like the Bisto granule stuff, no. No, thank you. No, thanks. Northern boys love gravy. I can see that as a shirt, Northern boys love gravy. NXT UK champ, we're just seeing... Tyler Bate when he won it. So a little video package on Tyler. I've grown up from a 19-year-old kid to a 25-year-old man. He's a great performer. A 19-year-old kid to a 25-year-old man. Jesse and Festus love gravy. I'm not Northern, and I love gravy, says James. Apparently, Bruce has never wrote one episode of NXT. I can certainly believe that up until 2.0. And then I suppose I wouldn't have been surprised if he'd been involved during 2.0. But to be honest, I haven't been watching 2.0, so I don't know. Von Wagner says, I'm a big, strong man, so we'll find out how tough this guy is. It's going to be a hard match for Tyler Bate. Grayson Waller effect then. With Apollo, we've had that. We've got Javier Bernal. I don't know who this is. Javier Bernal. Apollo. Oh, it's his debut. Okay, so debut for Javier Bernal. And here's Cameron Grimes to the moon. I make bacon gravy the same. Rotem said, if Waller wants to mess with Apollo, he should come out with a different accent each week. That could be fun. And even borderline racist. Edward said, when we say in Scotland, we pronounce it as wit. And when we say we say I. Silly billies. Are you doing Worlds Collide? I don't know, because it's on the same night as All Out, isn't it? And I really don't know what is going to be more in demand. I mean, obviously, I want to do the one that people will want to watch more. And I've got a feeling it might be All Out, because you know Tony's going to stack that. And it's undeniable that AEW have got bigger stars than NXT and NXT UK. I mean, they've got CM Punk to play with, John Moxley, Kenny Omega, Young Bucks. Like, it's going to be tough for Worlds to Collide to kind of compete with that. But saying that, you know, this is going to be the end of an era as well, isn't it? I was there for the start of NXT UK. I was at that tournament. So I do feel like I should be there. Well, I can't be there, but I should be at least watching its demise. Can't believe it. They gave us our own promotion and now they've took it away. It's not fair. We were so good to it as well. Well, we weren't, in all fairness. I mean, it was their fault. They shoved it in a flipping studio, took away any kind of atmosphere, and just expected us to still watch it and love it. In many ways, we got mistreated. It's a shame those UK tag titles are likely getting rid of. They are beautiful. I'm a big fan of Two Globes. I have heard that about you, Big Time Baxter. I saw that. Graffiti. Big Time Baxter loves two big globes. That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. I saw it written in graffiti on the toilets. Worlds Collide is at 6 or 7. Is it going to avoid it? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? If you're telling me it's going to avoid it, I think it's a Sunday, isn't it? And we would do both. If that's what you're telling me. I was under the impression that shows collide. That's what I was under the impression. I was under the impression shows collide. I've got 105 subscribers now. Well done. Well done, 1 Minute Wrestler. Keaton said, do you think there will be an NXT 3.0? Nah. It's getting silly, isn't it? Surely they would just go back to NXT. We don't need 2.0 in the name. I don't think we go NXT 3.0. I think we just go NXT. Gable is going back to Mini to wrestle one more time in college, says Tommy. John said, do you know anything about NXT Europe? Nope. Is it an existing thing or a new thing? It'll be a new thing. What is Aaron Grimes to the moon? Grimes wins. So Cameron Grimes gets the victory. Lag. Little bit of lag, was there? Did you see Mike Tyson in a wheelchair? No, I didn't. Harvden says, go back to black and gold. I'm down for that. I'm down for going back to black and gold. I don't mind the colours, to be honest. The colours isn't the problem for me. I just miss the booking of black and gold. Here's Blair Davenport. Blair Davenport. Born in England, raised in New Zealand. A message to the NXT Women's Division. Beware. Beware. There we go. Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell making her way out. Giving a thumbs up. I like Indy. I think everyone likes Indy. Indy Hartwell. Someone gave a thumbs up. She put her hand out like that, and there was a real show off then. They didn't know quite what to do. Indy Hartwell making her way down. Indy Hartwell. I don't know who she's facing. Let's go, Indy. She should be the women's champ. Not that stupid Mandy Rose. Mandy doesn't knows wrestling. Grayson. No, not Grayson. Cameron beats Javier. And now we've got Indy Hartwell. We're 52 minutes in. Indy Hartwell. Daze laughed at Santos and lost NXT UK. Indie Wrestling. The Ultimate Real Light is a French company that offers kidnapping services. If you pay them a fee, they will come and kidnap you when you least expect it. I have seen that, actually. I don't know if I've seen that company, but there is a company that will kidnap you. I could see that being annoying, though, because what if you're on a date? I mean, you're going to freak the girl out, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? All of a sudden, a van pulls up and you're just kidnapped out of nowhere. Mandy should go back dating Otis and just hand Indy the title. Larry said, Daze, my guess is when Angle is on Raw, he might introduce Gable Stevenson's debut. That would be great. I said last night in the review that I love the Legends being a part of the shows, but they need to do something. Trish didn't do anything. So, like, for me, like, I think if Kurt's going to introduce the arrival of Gable Steveson, like, that would be great. That would be a great way to use him. Or, you know, just mention a talent, put a talent over. Like, that would be great. Or give a talent some advice. Like, you could have seen Trish giving Aaliyah advice, like, WrestleMania, like, I was doing this, and, you know, when I debuted Raw for the first time, like, I knew that, like, I was going to have to, and you could see her, like, giving, like, that advice, and that would be good, and, like, Aaliyah taking notes or something, like, you know, it's just a little way of just boosting up a few of these new faces. During Gargano's early days in WWE, when fans were chanting Johnny Wrestling, I thought they were saying Chinese wrestling. Oh, they were. They were. Big fans of Chinese wrestling. Chinese wrestling. Chinese wrestling. Yes. Miko should squash Mandy. I'm not too familiar with her, but she's great in ring, and she had a banger Japanese street fight. Who, Mandy? Mandy had a banger Japanese street fight. That is just not in sync with my impression of Mandy Rose, let me tell you. So I am very surprised at that. Trish tried to help Aaliyah, but it wasn't enough, says John. Please don't bring up that Hit Row segment from last Friday. Hit Row. We're back. We're back. It's great to be back. I don't know what their song was. Here's Lash Legend. Is she still doing her talk show? Here's Alba Fire. Alba Fire. Alba Flame. I won't let anyone extinguish my flame. All the women will know what she already knows. I'll do whatever it takes to win. From the what? The Hounds and Locks of Scotland. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Who's this now? Who are you? Who are you, please? Shush, please. Who the hell's this? Is this Blair Davenport already? Is she taking on Indy Hartwell? Well, this isn't going to be good news for Indy Hartwell, is it? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dearie me. Blair Davenport is apparently going to be facing Indy Hartwell. No, I can't see Indy winning now. Okay, so where's Indy gone? I don't even know where she is. She did make her way out, didn't she? She's disappeared. She's gone. She's done one. I saw Smurfy had Gable Steveson in a passenger seat. Oh, there she is on the outside of the ring. Right, well, here we go. Indy Hartwell, Blair Davenport. Almost at the halfway point. The future. Globally respected. Indy Hartwell doesn't look bothered. Smile on the face of Davenport. These two locking up. This should be a good women's match, actually. Both of these can work. Indy Hartwell locking up with Blair Davenport. Hartwell getting backed into the corner. Pushing at each other. Nice little roll-up by Indy. Side headlock. This could be a future flipping NXT women's title match, couldn't it? Nice shoulder tackle by Indy. She's got a side headlock takeover. Very nice. Indy Hartwell in control at the moment. And up to the feet, straight to the midsection by Blair. Indy goes over, up to the outsides. Forearm strike there by... Oh, Indy. Indy gets her leg caught in the ropes, goes to the outsides. Blair jumps out the ring. She grabs Indy, tries to throw her into the ring post. Back elbow by Indy. Indy putting Blair back into the ring. Indy trying to come in, but... Oh. That was a nice twisting net breaker through the ropes by Blair Davenport. Indy is down. At least you can sing it better than Hit Row, says Keaton. He commented on my first comment. He liked the idea for Angle to help a talent. I like the idea for Angle to help a talent. I do, yeah. Why no emotional women? Is that only a Canada and Live thing? Yeah, there's no crying. You're absolutely right. I don't understand. I'm so not used to seeing women wrestlers that aren't crying. $1 Million Dream. Got a $1 Million Dream applied. Coming up to a feet there, Indy. Blair Davenport jumping on the back. Sleeper hold applied now by Blair Davenport. Oh, down goes Blair. Edward said, I've got a serious question. Is Ronda transphobic? Jesus, I have no idea. What made you ask that? I don't know. What happens if you Google it? When role models become problematic. There's a summit from 2015. I've seen maybe 3 UFC while they've created, never followed anything. I'm a sports girl, powerful women, performing amazing feats. Oh, dude, I really don't know. I'd have to read like a full flipping article here. Google it. Google Ronda Rousey transphobic. I can't say I've ever heard anything or anything that I'm aware of, but there are some comments that appear to have been made, but from a long time ago. Not that that makes any difference, but I don't even know what the comments are, so I honestly can't answer. Can you imagine if it wasn't for Baby Quill, then Johnny Gargano might not have waited all these months. Tony would have locked him to 5 years. Blair Davenport gets the victory. Blair Davenport wins. Indy Hartwell went up top. Blair Davenport grabbed her by the leg and pulled her down to the mat. And that allowed her to regain the momentum, pick up the victory. Do you regret laughing at Santos? It cost you NXT UK. I don't think that worked that way, to be honest. I think that even if I hadn't laughed at Santos, I don't think NXT UK would have been spared. So, no, if anything, I wish I'd laughed more. Blair Davenport wins. Daze, because she's getting hate for it on TikTok and whatnot for apparently being transphobic. That's something you're going to have to look into, dude, and Google it. I genuinely am not aware of any comments. I can't say there's been any famous comments. It seems like TikTok might have found like an old article and they're focused on something that's from her past. I've wasted one of the best in this division. I was #1 contender in the UK. But the NXT Women's Championship will do just fine. Blair Davenport is the rightful heir to the Women's Championship. So Mandy Rose is coming out. So Blair Davenport promo saying that the NXT Women's Championship will do just fine. That brings out the NXT Women's Champion, Mandy Rose. Blair Davenport, wow. Your reputation precedes you. We've not met. I'm Mandy Rose. Cheer for Mandy Rose. You're standing in my ring. You entered into my world. In my world, everyone follows my lead. Has she ever had a good match in NXT? I'm not saying that in a nasty way. I'm just saying that in a, has she ever had a good match? I genuinely don't know. Put some respect on my name. Put some respect on my name. Who's coming out now? Who's this? Is this Miko? Is that me? Is that Miko? Ah, put respect on that name. Put respect on that name. Oh my God, Miko Satomura coming out. Damn. Damn, look how shocked everyone is. A legend. Do you know she was on WCW back in the day? There's footage of her in WCW with Medusa. Legend. You are not the most dominant women's champion. That would be me. That would be me. Yes. Miko Satomura. You are a true legend. True legend. I can't think of a better way to put respect on my name than to beat a legend. Worlds collide. Oh my God, I'm going to have to watch that show, aren't I? Champion versus champion. Oh, what's she bringing to the party, though? She ain't got a belt. She's going to bring a flipping replica. She said, you're forgetting about me. I'm the #1 contender. Shut the hell up. What's this PG crowd? Shut the hell up. What happened to shut the F up? Shut the hell up, please. Please be quiet. Please be quiet. Please stop talking. Thank you very much. Please stop talking. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. EC dub, EC dub, EC dub, EC dub. Guys, we went extreme. We went extreme. This crowd has gone wild. Please be quiet. Yeah, we got Tiffany Stratton. Yeah. Shush, please. Shush, please. Miko Satomura comes out then. So champion versus champion, but we don't know what the flip's going to be happening with Blair Davenport. Backstage with Tony and Legado, the Don of NXT, the D'Angelo family. This is why I'm the Don. And Santos is unemployed. He's a forgiving guy. The past is the past. Future starts tonight. The past is the past. The future starts tonight. Worlds Collide at 9 p.m. It does finish before All Out. Yes. I can watch Miko. Yay! I can watch NXT UK die. Woo! I want to watch that. So I can see us doing both. It is a triple threat. Oh. Triple threat. I wonder if Blair's winning. What if Tony booked the match tomorrow because CM Punk is finished with AEW? Don't think so. Don't know. I'd be very surprised if we'd got to that point. Edward said she did make some comments, nothing major, but she then apologised for it. Oh, well, there we go. Some people will accept that apology, some people won't, so. There's an article on Ronda's trans comments. Yeah, I've saw there's some articles, but I just need the headlines, really. It's not really much fun me sitting here reading articles. Live on stream, join us live whilst Daze reads articles. William said, I want to watch Daze make me breakfast after a night of pocket bingo. Jordan said, Blair will take the pin. Who from? Who from, Jordan? Who from? Who wins? Evo, shout out to you. If Mandy wins and unifies the belts, we riot. Should be a triple threat with Miko winning or Blair winning. There's no other way. It's old news. People love bringing up old stuff, says James. Imagine War Games coming to Survivor Series along with some other NXT stars, says Jeremy. Smurfy Toon said, do you think it'll be Roman versus fake Roman at Survivor Series? Oh my God, I'd love that. I would flipping love that. That would be brilliant. Who would say they have a fake Roman, though? If Paul Heyman had been kicked out of the bloodline, Imagine Paul Heyman kicked out of the bloodline, and then each week he starts talking about how he's back with Roman, and Roman's on SmackDown, like going, no, he isn't. And then Heyman's like, well, I tell you what, I'll bring Roman to Survivor Series to show that I am back with Roman. And Roman's like, okay, well, I'll face this Roman. I'll face this person you're claiming is me. And then we get Roman versus Roman. Oh, my God. Roman versus Roman. Love it. Liv will come out crying because she's not involved. She'd be crying even if she was. If Daze ends this stream, we riot. Would you let Rikishi Bonze drop you for £100? No. Jordan said, I would say it'll be Miko, and she'll be the only NXT UK wrestler to win a belt. I wonder what they're going to do with her, though. I mean, is she going to be part of... I think Triple H would bring her to the main roster, you know. Vince wouldn't, but I think Triple H would. She is a legend. She is someone that's... The problem is she's achieved 99.9% of her stuff over in Japan. So you'd have to do, like, you know, you'd have to introduce her to the American audience, the Western audience, but yeah, she's cool. She's amazing in ring. I'd have no problem with her going to the main roster. I'd actively encourage it. Are you going to do NXT Worlds Collide? Well, we've just been talking about that. We think it's on at a different time as All Out, so if I can do both, I'll do both. The guys that plays Aquaman is Roman's double. He could be fake Roman. Heyman brings out The Rock in Roman's wrestling gear. Imagine Cody wins the Rumble next year and then challenges for the championship at WrestleMania, says Jeremy. Do you think it'll be Jericho Danielson at All Out? I could see that. I could see that. Right. We are backstage. We've got Wesley, Casey, and Caden, or whatever she's called, Katrina. Let's talk about the champs. When you're champion, everyone's going to be coming for those things. As far as we're concerned, we're the only true tag team champs. We'll take on anyone, anywhere. Wes is loving these vibes. Okay. NXT Worlds Collide Women's Championship Unification Triple Threat. The NXT Women's Champion Mandy Rose. The NXT UK Women's Champion Miko Satomura. And Blair Davenport competing in a triple threat. She's not competed stateside in over 5 years. Indy Hartwell's still out there? She sat there all that time. So Indy said this is rock bottom. It's always been me. I'm done with the tears. But you're a woman, you've got to cry. That's what they do. I was going to reignite my career. I'm not. What am I doing or what am I saying? I'm just saying words. Dexter Loomis! Loomis is here! Oh, God. She was so lost. She was lost. Loomis is here. Loomis getting in the ring. Oh, look at the scenes. Look at the scenes. Loomis and Indy. Oh, they embrace. It's like Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth all over again. She's kissed him. She's giving him a kiss. Oh, and a hug. Oh, I can't cope. I'm going to throw up. Oh, is he going to take her to the main roster? Is he taking her to the main roster? Are they going to the main roster? Where's the Miz? Where's the Miz? Miz and Maurice against Dexter and Indy. Miz and Maurice against Dexter and Indy. Index is back. Oh my God. I'm crying. I'm crying. Oh my God. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen since Vince and Linda got together. Oh, free the Miz. We need answers. Look, he's taking it out the door. What's this? What's this? Oh my God. What is this? No, don't break up. Don't break up. What's going on? He's opened the door. No. What's going on? The doors have closed. Dexter's been arrested. Dexter's arrested. No. Arrested. Oh my God, stories on a Monday are playing out on a Tuesday. Stories on a Monday playing on a Tuesday. What did the thing say? Look, the police just grab him. Oh. I need to have a look. We need to analyze this. Dexter's been arrested. It says, what does it say? She reads it and nods. It says, I love you forever. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hang on, give me a sec. I've took a screenshot. I've got screenshots. Hang on, let's go down. It says. Let's go. I've got the images. Guys, I've got the images. I don't want anyone to panic right now. Where is that drive? There it is. So we had Super Sad Indy. Yeah, Super Sad Indy in the ring, talking, Dexter in the background. Then we had Crawley Knees thing. Then we had really nice super carry off thing. Then we had by the door thing, which was Dexter going through the door, Indy Hartwell watching. Then we had Dexter being arrested. Then we had, oh my God, I can't believe it. Hang on. Then we had this. Now, what does that say? I love you forever. Goodbye. Goodbye, Indy. Goodbye, Indy, my love. I love you forever. Oh my God, it's over. It's over. Goodbye, Indy, my love. I love you forever. Oh my God, they've ended it. I'm gonna be sick. Oh, goodbye, Indy. Brackets, my love. I will love you forever. Oh my God, hang on, let me go back down here. I've got to do this video. Guys, massive news coming out of NXT. So exciting as well that stories that are happening on a Monday are now spilling over to a Tuesday. But Indy suffered a loss tonight against Blair Davenport. And she was in the ring. She was saying that she needs to rebuild herself. She wanted to reignite her career. This is what rock bottom feels like. And as she was talking, Dexter Lumis arrived in the background. And man, what a moment this was. What a moment. Index reunited. They came face to face in the ring. Obviously, these two were married. And I think they're still married. But obviously, Dexter Lumis has gone to the main roster. But this was nice. I was watching this thinking, oh my God, is he about to take her to the main roster? Is he taking her to the main roster with him? Super exciting. Everyone, look at that dude. Thumbs up from the crowd. Everyone was loving it. And then he gets to the door. He opens the door. He stands out the door. Indy's a bit confused. Dexter Lumis is then arrested. Dexter Lumis, who kidnapped The Miz last night, is then arrested. This is what I'm saying about a story started on a Monday, playing out on a Tuesday. He's obviously arrested because he kidnapped The Miz. You can't go doing that. But he leaves a note for Indy, his wife, and she reads it. And the note, it's hard to read, but it looks to me like it says, "Goodbye, Indy, brackets, my love. I love you forever." So it feels like this might be the end of Index. I mean, this is so cruel to us as viewers because it really felt like he was taking her to the main roster. Actually, what he was doing was he was taking her to the door so that he could show her that he was about to be arrested. He could show her, he could make sure she saw he was being handcuffed and arrested for kidnap. And so, this note is heartbreaking, but this is where we are. Big news coming out of NXT, though. Where do we go from here, though? Hopefully this isn't the end of the road. Hopefully they'll get back together again at some point, but brilliant moment that is super sad at the same time. Amazing, though. Amazing. Love it. I hope we do more stories that start on a Monday and play out on a Tuesday. That would be awesome. That would be, in the words of The Miz, awesome. Poor Miz, who's still kidnapped. Goodbye for now. It says goodbye for now. He's going to prison, though. He's gone. Oh. Right, we are underway with next match. Legado del Fantasma in action, taking on Grizzled Young Veterans. But I actually don't know if they're called Grizzled Young Veterans still. So, Legado going against the rope, suicide dive. Oh, God, I hope that's not the end of the road. Dexter Lumis arrested. Leaves note to Indy Hartwell on NXT 2.0. Crossbody. What time is it? Oh, we've still got just over half an hour to go. Just over half an hour left of the show. I will get into people's thoughts in a sec. Bang. Change the thing over as well. That's so cool. I love the fact they've done that. Proper popped as well. It was a great moment. Step up into Guri. Boom. Free Loomis. He didn't do anything wrong, said Huff Sports Media. So what? He set a trash can on fire. He might have killed Doudrop and Nikki. And so what if he kidnapped Miz? Maurice doesn't need him anyway. Free Loomis. Still can't believe what they did to grizzled young veterans. The Druid stuff was not great, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm a little bit intrigued. Right, these are all hug him. Legado del Fantasma in the ring. Big boots. Back elbow. Gibson is in there right now. Gibson looks kind of interesting with his like head shaved and like the contact lens thing. It's an interesting look. NXT 2.0 news. There we go. Lovely, lovely. Crossbody. Boom! DDT. Legado. Legado. Yeah, let's go back. Where's the chat? There it is. Dexter Loomis versus Miz and Maurice. They're still selling Grizzled Young Veteran scarves on the site. Not sure. I'm not sure. Did you see the tweet I sent you about the change in allowing real names on the main roster? No. That's good, though. I mean, that's going to be good for the talent. I don't know if that's good for WWE with like making money. I mean, it is a business at the end of the day. So I don't know. It's good for the talent though. And there we go. The Dyad are victorious. So the Dyad pick up the win. I didn't even get a chance, did I, to change that over. What about Roman versus Mrs. Roman? I don't think Mrs. Roman's a wrestler, to be honest. Dyad beats Legado. Legado. There we go. So, Dexter arrives. Dexter arrested. Then we had the Dyad beat Legado. Are they trying to convince Cameron Grimes to join? Stop crying! Is one of Legado crying? I hope so. This show has got a severe lack of tears. Who is she? Next time you're in my presence, how about you show me some respect? Okay, well, that lady's left. You never talk to a woman like that. Show some respect to that lady who I don't know who it is. Tyler Bate coming out then. Wrestler with Andy said The Miz will never be mentioned on WWE again, just like Benoit. Yes. Yes, that's it. It's all over. It's all over for The Miz. Here's Tyler Bate then. Tyler Bate making his way out. Big strong boy. So, Tyler Bate taking on Von Wagner. I'm getting, like, face vibes from Tyler Bate, and I honestly thought he was a heel now. There's no crying in wrestling. That's twice he said now. Who said that, James? Is World Collider pay-per-view? Well, premium live event thing. Yo, who that chick? Don't know. There's no crying in wrestling. I wish that was true. There's plenty of crying. More crying in wrestling than there is at a funeral. Big strong boy just like you. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Calmon. Just saw the video. Indy should go to the main roster soon, says Jaden. Oh, I don't know if she will, but I mean, that note seems to... It kind of... I wondered where it was going, and it seemed to be a way of them kind of separating the two for a while. Who knows, though? Let's go bail Dexter out. Yes. Free Cain Velasquez and free Dexter Loomis. I mean, if he'd kidnapped someone we actually cared about, then it would be a problem. But he didn't. Dexter Loomis arrested. Dexter Loomis arrested. NXT news. Boom. How much is Dexter's bail? I don't know. I don't know how it works in America, to be honest. A lot, I would imagine. It depends whose funeral it is. Good point. We should start a GoFundMe for Dexter. Let's free Dexter. Dexter is innocent. We need it trending on Twitter, says Sonny. Connor said, I've honestly never watched NXT, but I think I'll give it a chance. What if Indy follows Dexter and tries to get him back on the main roster? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know where this story's going. I feel like Dexter Loomis has come back and they have found a way of distancing him from Indy. Maybe it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a case. Oh, God, her day just got worse. She said, so this is what rock bottom feels like. No, you've not had your husband leave you yet. You've not had your husband leave you. Give it a sec. Here he is. Gives her a kiss, carries her off. Flipping heartbreaking, isn't it? Bad day. Bad day for Indy Hartwell. Grimes could pay the bail. That's true. Edward said, I've never seen a Tyler Bate match. You will now. Dexter won't have no bail in Cali, Detroit, or New York. Dexter will show back in a Nails jumpsuit. Oh, man, yeah. And do you think they'll alter his... Well, he doesn't talk, does he? Remember, they used to alter Nails' voice with a weird voice changer effect. Had a really deep voice down here. It says, bye for now. I think the draft might work things out later down the line. I hope they do. To be honest, her husband was arrested. He didn't leave her. Okay, we're outside. Here's Legado. Sam said, India's now posted a clear image of that note on Twitter. That's good. I'll have a look at it in a sec. Here's Santos. You didn't think I'd leave without you, did you? La Familia stays together. Shall we go? Off to the main roster they go. La Familia stays together. Legado are leaving together. Legado. Thank you and good night. So Santos Escobar has taken Legado del Fantasma off seemingly to the main roster. So much has happened on this show. So Legado reunite and head to the main roster. How long have we got? We got 22 minutes to go. I think they're going to go to SmackDown. They're going to the main roster. Not the parking lot. Nothing good happens there. Bate has got side headlock on Von Wagner against the rope, shoulder tackle. Right, we're underway with Von Wagner and Tyler Bates. Tyler Bate. Na 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 na. Tyler Bates versus Von Wagner. Daze, I'm crying again. This is wrestling. If you're not crying, are you even watching wrestling? So the Dyad beat Legado. Legado del Fantasma reunites and seemingly leave NXT. Legado versus Bloodline. Could we see Toxic Attraction come to SmackDown or Raw? Maybe. I don't know that we are. I don't know how close we are to them leaving NXT. I suppose we must be quite close. They've already put Gigi and JC into that women's tag tournament, haven't we? And Mandy's been there before. Tyler Bate gets dropped down from a great height. We've still got the lights out match to come. Up next, Wendy Chu, Tiffany Stratton. Lights out. Lights out. Lights out. This is a marvelous show, says Joe. Von Wagner's dog is called Dog Wagger. Toxic Attraction against Damage Control. Huff Sports Media said Tyler Bate's been doing this forever. People forget he could be the next big star. He's only 25. Bate gets pushed back. Big strikes coming in on Von Wagner. Uppercut there to the midsection. Kick low. Double underhooks by Bate. Over the top. Bate lands on his feet against the ropes. Not a fan of his long hair, Bate. Throw by Von Wagner. Wendy Chu needs a character change. Michael said, do you think we could see a heel team of Indy and Theory versus Johnny and Candice, the mentees versus the mentors? Thought you would like it. The mentees. Is that a thing? Would you like to see a heel team of Indy and Theory against Johnny and Candice? I'd be down for that. I am down for Indy going to the main roster. I don't really mind how she gets there. I don't mind if it's Loomis that's gonna like take her there, or if Johnny takes her there, or if Theory, calls her up. And you could have a ready-made story with Indy saying that she feels betrayed. She was left behind. Everyone else went to the main roster, just left her there. And, she was struggling on her own. So you could easily find a ready-made story for it. Tyler Bate with a suicide dive. There's a lovely pace to this match, Back elbows coming in by Varney picks up Tyler Bate. Bate lands on his feet. We've got less than 20 minutes to go. We've got a lights out match coming up. Obviously, we will do our post-show review as well. Bate screams. He holds Bate's arm. Yeah, so Wagner laying in some really big strikes. It's a good little match, this, actually. Some big power moves in there. Tyler Bate is down. Von Wagner comes crashing down on him. He's a big, strong man. Do you know why they're arresting Dexter? I think it's going to be connected to the Miz thing, isn't it? He kidnapped the Miz on Monday, and now here we are on Tuesday with him being arrested. Elbows coming in by Tyler Bate. Bate on his lands on his feet. Big boot there by... Oh, I love it when he does that. That bounces off the ropes. Again. Oh, he gets caught, though. Lands on his feet. Bop and bang. That's great. And again. Bate backing up into the corner. He's got his boxer tricks, isn't he, Tyler Bate? Lovely suplex there by Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate going to the outside. Climbing up top. Oof. Comes crashing down. 1, 2, 3. And Bate gets the win. I mean, Bate needed the win. That's a big opponent for him to beat, though. Tyler Bate gets a big victory. Tyler Bate beats Von Wagner. So much going on with the show that it's been stacked, man. I think they've done a really good job following up last week's show. Did you hear about the draft? Do you like the idea? I've heard that they're going to look to do it after WrestleMania. We were talking before. I feel like it's a bit far away, to be honest. It's going to be Worlds Collide, isn't it? You guys want it. Okay, so they haven't announced anything for Worlds Collide yet. Here comes Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton making her way down. Right, lights out match. Who in NXT is going to have a great main run? I say Carmelo and Roxanne. Yeah, I can see those. I can see those. I've only seen the one Roxanne match, but I thought she was very good. I like to sell him. I'm adding Julius Creed to my list of top stars. Wendy Chu versus Tiffany. Is it? I don't even know how you spell her name. Tiffany. 2 T's. O-N. Tiffany Stratton. Right, lights out match coming up. Main event time, lights out. What did the crowd say when they saw Santos? I think there was a good pop. No. Honestly, all the time. Every ad break, there's a commercial for Clash at the Castle. No. This match is main event. Why? I don't know. I can only imagine it's had a big build in recent weeks, but I've not been watching in recent weeks, so I don't know. Mr. Meme said, who's your favourite boxer? Mine's Swarms. Oh, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. Mine is Deji. Deji's my favourite ever boxer. Hot Sports Media said, thoughts on Tyler winning and Bron going the main roster? I think Bron should at least wait until next year but I really do want Tyler to win. Could happen. I'm expecting Braun to win. I don't know that they're going to put the main NXT belt on Tyler Bate. Do you know that in a way that's crazy, because back in the day, no way could I ever see that happening. You know, when we had like amazing talent in NXT and we had your Samoa Joes, your Shinsuke Nakamura's, your Kevin Owens, your Finn Balor's, those kind of names. Like Tyler Bate was just, I couldn't believe they'd won the NXT tag belts. Could not believe Mustache Mountain had been given those belts. They had to get past Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa. They had to get past Undisputed Era to win those tag titles. So the idea that he would be NXT champ, no. But here he is now in this new NXT, going for the NXT title. And yeah, I mean, I suppose there is a chance he could win it now. I think this has been a good show, but I do feel like there is a lack of credible challengers for that main title. I mean, I am looking and I'm like, who's going to challenge Bron Breakker? Where's his next challenges coming from? It feels very realistic that Tyler Bate could be champion in this era. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know which way they'll go. These questions are hard for me to answer because I've got no like recent background knowledge as to what they've been doing. So I need to watch a few weeks and kind of see how they're booking it and see what they're, doing. I mean, are they full steam ahead with Bron Breakker? Are they getting towards the end of his run? Have they run out of challenges for him? Are there loads of challenges still ahead? Equally, you don't know what Triple H wants to do. Triple H might want him for the main roster, and so it's irrelevant, and he just takes him. So it's hard to know which way they're going to go. I am expecting Braun to win. Women's title, I've no idea. I mean, I have no idea. I'm guessing Mandy pins Blair Davenport. But then what do you do with Miko? I don't think Miko wants to live. I don't know that she wants to live in America. So is it that we're just going to have Miko on the sidelines till NXT Europe starts? Don't know. We'll have to see. It's interesting. Apollo. Well, Apollo's been on the main roster. John said, how do you think they'll play out this lights out match since AEW is no holds barred and sanctions? I think this will be a PG match. I don't think that, I mean, a lights out match. I'm guessing I don't know how they're going to play it out. I'm guessing they're going to turn the lights out, but how do we see it? I don't know. The way they were making it out was that she had those night vision goggles and everything, but I don't get how we're going to see that. I don't know. See, a lights out, I mean, those kind of, that makes me think that it's after the show has ended and you turn the lights off. It makes me think of that kind of thing, but I don't think they're going to do that here. This is very much part of the show. Wendy is actually, I've not been seeing her entrances, but she actually gets in bed as part of her entrance. Is that new? I don't know if that's new. Wendy Chu actually getting out of bed. Takes off her onesie. I kind of like her music, though. Okay, so I do like her music. I do like her entrance music. Dun, dun, dun. Right, Bella sounded. They have put the lights down. I mean, they're not off. It's but they are down. Against the ropes goes Wendy. Duck underneath. Drop kick by Wendy, and Tiffany Stratton goes out the ring. See, this is what I want to see from Wendy Chu. This is what I want to see from her. This is much better. I want to see when the bell rings, her taking the action seriously. This is the Wendy Chu I've always wanted. She grabs a trash can, rams it into Tiffany Stratton, empties the trash onto Tiffany Stratton, dumps the trash can on Tiffany Stratton's head. Now she gets a tennis racket, bang! Hits the trash can with the... And again. Oh, that guy was horrified by what he's seeing. Tiffany Stratton goes down onto her knees. Tiffany Stratton had that trash can on her head. Getting walloped with that. I don't know if she's actually taken some punishment there. Referee just checked on her and she was just like... Against the ropes goes Tiffany. Wendy charges over. Yeah, she's really focused here. I mean, she's really not messing around at all. Big boot by Wendy Chu. Tiffany Trashton. Ethan said, this is funny. Right, we're going under the ring. Tiffany grabbing is that a toolbox? She's got a toolbox, ramming it into the midsection of Wendy Chu. Toolbox being emptied out. What has she got? What is that? A wrench? Or a turnbuckle? Oof. She gets smashed face first into the edge of the ring. We've got trash on the outside of the ring. We've got stuff out of the toolbox. Wendy, we want tables is the chant. We want tables. We want tables. Tabley tables. Right. Tyler beat Von Wagner. Against ropes goes Wendy. Kick to the midsection. Another big kick there as Tiffany goes down. If the plan's to bring back Sasha and Naomi in the tag team fold, how would you book them? Because they can't lose. I feel like they've squandered their own title reign. I would bring them back to take on the new champs, which I think will be Io and Dakota. And then I think Io and Dakota keep a hold of those belts by cheating, thanks to maybe outside interference from Bayley and things like that. Whether you then keep Sasha and Naomi a tag team after that point, I really don't know. But or whether you split them up and work with them individually. I would put Naomi in the bloodline. I'd put Naomi in the bloodline. I don't know what I would do with Sasha, but I'd find something for her. But yeah, to be honest, I would probably split them up. Going to picture in picture. Just like a banana, this match is appealing. Edward said, my favourite boxer is JJ, a.k.a. KSI. Okay. James said, Braun wins, Bate, main roster, reunite with Pete Dunne, British strong style for the tag division. Unbroken said, not the IKEA wrench and instructions. That's devastating. Knight Rider said, I wonder if Dexter is being interrogated on where he took the Miz. I would think almost certainly. Imagine if they arrest him and they never ask where the Miz is. That would be really bad police work. Sasha should win the Rumble, and then we could get Blair Banks Part 2. She has won, hasn't she? She won at Mania this year in the tag match. But I don't think she's ever won a singles match, so maybe she should be... Someone's got to be the one. I think Rhea probably should be the one to beat Bianca. I think Rhea should be the one. George Lucas got stuck in the Jaws shark's head. Who do you think takes the title off Liv? You could have heel Naomi, Shayna, Ronda, but I'm thinking, where does Charlotte fit in? I like heel Naomi. Certainly if you put her in the bloodline, do that. Heel Naomi. Do that. Do it. Book it. Book it now. Sasha and Naomi are a hot tag team. Splitting them up for the time being would not be good for business. Yeah, but you'd do a feud first. I'd do them against the winners of the tag championship. But to be honest, there's not really any secondary women's tag team feuds. And I wouldn't have them win the belts off Io and Dakota so quick, because that doesn't really work that well for Io and Dakota. Io and Dakota have only just come to the main roster and they're establishing themselves. So, like, for them to lose the tag titles so quickly, I wouldn't book it that way. I think you need the belts staying on them. So that means they have to get the better of Sasha and Naomi. So then what do you do with Sasha and Naomi if they're not going to be tag champs? I would split them. I would split them unless you can find a secondary feud for them. But that's just something we haven't been seeing, is it? There's a bed now at the edge of the ring. How did that get there? The bed has had the mattress removed. Triple H should bring back Eva Marie. Oh, Jim, you've gone rogue, mate. I really like you, Jim, but you've lost your mind. Oh, Jesus. Oh, someone needs to save Jim. I'll read it. Triple H should bring back Eva Marie and have her win the Rumble. It's her destiny to be champion. Guys, I don't know who has hacked Jim Gore's YouTube account, but that is not cool. Jim is a legend around these parts. I've got a soft spot for Jim. And how dare you hack his account and make him say those things? How dare you? How dare you? Give Jim his account back now, please. Wendy going over and pinning Tiffany. Edward says, now you say that, Sasha, would you... Now you say that, Sasha. Now you say that, Sasha. Would you put her with Bailey and Dakota and Io? You could add one more person. I've always said I'm all right with 4 in a faction, but 4? No is my answer. I actually think if you're going to add another woman, it needs to be someone that needs boost. Bailey is the legend that can carry that faction and be the leader of it. The people behind should be behind. You know, Io, Dakota, standing behind the leader that is Bailey. Like, Sasha's too powerful for that faction, really. I would put a weaker woman in there. Spray in the face. Hairspray. Hairspray in the face of Wendy Chu. Trash can to the midsection by Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany looking to powerbomb Wendy through the trash can. 1, 2. Kick out by Wendy Chu. Do you know what? This match is much more enjoyable than I was expecting. Look at that. Powerbomb through a trash can. Wendy chants. Wendy. You've got Rhea, Bailey, Charlotte, Sasha, Naomi, Ronda, Asuka, Alexa. There's so many top women. Do we need a mid-card title? I think the tag belts are the mid-card title. I mean, you could probably get away with a mid-card belt, but I think you'd have to have it go between Raw and SmackDown. Wendy getting out the ring, but overrunning a bit here. Is Wendy Chu doing? She has grabbed a... Oh, my God, she's grabbed a pillow. She has grabbed a pillow. Wendy Chu with a pillow. Is it a loaded pillow? Loaded pillow. What's it loaded with? Don't worry about showing us what it's loaded with. Just finish the job. It was loaded with Lego. She loaded it with Lego. And it wasn't even totally full of Lego. It was a pillow with some Lego in it. I don't understand. What made Tiffany Stratton drop like she'd just been shot? The way that Tiffany Stratton went down, it was like she'd just been flipping shot. And it turns out it was just some bits of Lego. Silly Tiffany. Edward said a theory here, but what if B-Fab and Bianca become a tag team in a cute, and I would have put B-Fab in that 3-3 match at Clash. Ooh, fall away slam. I don't know. I mean, like, maybe one day, but right now she's in Hit Row, isn't she? So, I can't see them splitting them up for a long time. Oh, my God! Wendy Chu slammed on top of that Lego. I mean, in all fairness, I can see that hurt him. Being slammed on top of these little plastic pieces. NXT, NXT, EC dub, EC dub. She did a fall-away slam, but Wendy Chu fell really short of the Lego. But she did, oh my God, now she stomped onto her, stomps her onto that. That'll be it. 1, 2. Oh, kick out. Can't believe it. She survived the Lego. She survived the Lego. I meant in the future. In the future. Yeah, I mean, we're talking a few years. This is awesome, chants. Lego is worse than thumbtacks. Stepping on Lego is annoying. Color-coded thumbtacks are the bane of existence. Tiffany on the outside. Tiffany going in her makeup bag. She's got some powder. Wendy knocks it into the face of Tiffany, picks her up. Oh, plants her through the bed. Right through the bed. Holy shit. That might do it. Is that going to do it? She puts her through the bed, but chucks her back in the ring. Wendy Chu going up top. I tell you what, they have absolutely stacked these 2 hours. Wendy Chu. Oof, splashes down. And it's a win for Wendy Chu. This is Lego. This is Lego. Yes, this is Lego. Let's go. That was a surprisingly entertaining main event. I agree. Wendy took Tiffany to bed. That was actually a really fun match, says Jay. The Lego movie was Freemason predictive programming at its best. This match was better than expected. Wendy wins. PG-14 crowd is back. Sexy Lego and Nighty on Chew. Sexy. Has those words ever been put together? Sexy Lego. Sexy Lego. What a show, man. I've got so many images that I've got to put into the post-show review. Wendy Chu puts to bed this issue. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, backstage. Backstage sign-in. Are we not done? Is there what's going on? Is there an overrun tonight? So Miko and Blair and Mandy are signing the contracts. Oh, and there's Bron and Tyler. They're signing as well. So all the major championships on the line at Worlds Collide. There we go. So the show ends with everyone signing. No tag team belts, though, at the moment on the Collision course, which is a bit of a surprise. No Legos were harmed during the making of that match. Jaden said that was a great show. I agree. Great show. Right, we are going to wrap up. I'm going to be about 10 minutes to get all these images put into the thing. Edward said, won't be able to make the review. Have a great night. Stay safe. Send in positivity. AEW. Edward, appreciate the support, dudes. Have a great night. No worries. I'm going to have to shoot to go off and do that, but yes, it is good show. Really enjoyed it. I thought they followed up on last week's NXT really, really well, but we'll do a full show review now, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes time. So thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in a bit.